single time, every single crime, every single lie, early life, every single hour, every single day, every single night, early life. I know it's hard to believe it's the whole forest, not one tree, and it's every branch and leaf. They're born to deceive, but I'm telling you the truth. It's not just one or two, it's every single Jew. They all hate you, and it really breaks my heart. But their lies are off the charts, and they only bring us harm. You gotta get smart. So if you want to be safe and don't want to get replaced, it's best you start being based, or you'll get erased. Every single time, every single crime, every single lie, early life, every single hour, every single day, every single night, early life. I know it's hard to accept that all the ones you've met lie with every single breath. They want you dead, but you must not be weak. Just open your eyes and see they always exploit the meek. See their vampire teeth, and it can make you cry to learn your life was full of lies and their face was a disguise. But you must fight. So if you want to live and protect all of your kin, you have to grow thick skin, or we won't. Every single time, every single crime, every single lie, early life, every single hour, every single day, every single night, early life.
And we are live. What's up, guys? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. We are live. We are live. We are live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, man. Okay. We got a three-peat for you guys today. We're going to obviously do the debrief. Then we're going to go ahead and cover some fresh and fit. We're going to do top 5 cashback credit cards for you guys. And then we're also going to go ahead and cover, after that, we're going to go ahead and cover after hours. So we got an action-packed day for y'all. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time. And yeah, happy to have you guys here. Let's see here. I gotta make this a bit bigger. Oh man, every single time. How you guys like that song, by the way? Y'all like that? Shout out to Lucas Gage. He put me on to that. Or that's his joint right there. So anyway, let's go ahead and get things going. Oh, that Rumble number is wrong. Interesting. Oh, it's the wrong link. No wonder. Okay, let me go ahead and get this thing going. So guys, we're going to cover two things. We're going to cover the Charlie Kirk debate, and we're also going to go ahead and cover the Jordan Peterson debate if we got time. We got about 3 hours or so. So we'll see what we can do here. Make some magic happen if we need to. So, but we are a little bit tighter for time because we don't have a full regular show. But if not, I'll be able to cover tomorrow what we missed today. So that's not a problem at all. Yesterday we did Karen Reed. That was a good time. So hope you guys enjoyed that stream. I see you guys like the song. That's good. That's good. I like that you guys like the song. Let me go ahead and look at some of these super chats real quick. Let's see here. We got Bruce Banner says, you say she's most likely going to walk in if she did, but how? And if she didn't do it, then who do you think did? I think she's going to walk because I don't know. Hold on. This came from yesterday, I think. I got to refresh this thing. God damn it. Bear with me real quick, chat. Okay, there we go. All right, did you see the video of French President Macron getting slapped by his wife? Yeah, bro, I did see that shit. I'll show the chat real quick before it's short, so I can show it real fast. Bro, I actually tweeted to it. Here, let me pull up my ex real quick and I'll show y'all what he's talking about. He went on a visit today in Vietnam, and as the door opened, basically they saw him getting slapped in the head by his debatable wife. So that is funny, of course. Let me see here. Let me show y'all. I tweeted it earlier. Also, there was an attack in Liverpool as well. That's developing right now as we speak right now too, guys. So absolutely crazy stuff, man. Absolutely crazy stuff. Here's what they're talking about right here. This comes from Terrapol on X. Bizarre moment, Macron is slapped by his wife while bickering on plane. Look at that, bro. You can see he's there yapping with her about some stuff. And bam, right there. Face, hand on the face, man.
Welcome, punch!
Hey, man. Sean Connery was right about these hoes. Yeah, and guys, the reason why I'm going to use early life is because I don't have to worry about copyright, right? When I use the Yay World War III, I get hit with copyright, man. So I'm just going to use early life from Lucas Gage. Plus, he's a brother in the movement, so you know, got to show some love that way too. Look at this. So he opens the door, and bam. And then he gives a little wave. Hey guys, how y'all doing? Didn't know y'all were there. Obviously, he's got to keep it diplomatic and cordial. Even though he's probably furious this guy opened the door beforehand. And there's that creature behind him. Who's supposed to be his wife. Look, he awkwardly puts his arm out like this. She doesn't link. Giving that fake smile. She's clearly pissed off. She's looking at the ground. Or he, whatever that is. Yeah, bro. Absolutely crazy. Bruh, what a fucking L, man. Guys, what I tell y'all, bro, if you don't got your woman in check, she will ruin your life. Look at this. She embarrassed them in front of millions of people, bro. Crazy. Right? Absolutely crazy. He claims they were joking. Yeah, sure, buddy. Sure, you're joking. I said, bro needs to set up and knock that man out. We all know Brigitte is really Brian. Oh, man. And then also, since we're here waiting for everybody to fill in before we get into debate stuff, look at this shit, bro. This nigga right here, Cooking with Kya's boyfriend, Zay Braun, breaks down what he said to her before watching someone slap his girlfriend's ass at the club during Kai Cenat's Streamer University. For those of you that aren't aware, Kai Cenat was running this, you know, Streamer University thing, which, to be honest with you guys, I don't know what the purpose of it was. Maybe like to have them all kind of collab pseudo and have everyone kind of just pump in their channels, their Twitch channels. But, you know, whatever. Unique idea. A lot of, you know, let's be honest, it's not the highest IQ of individuals. But look, this girl, Cooking with Kya, was there. So some like Black 304 chick. And this is him talking about this shit.
There's 3 things that I don't want. I don't want to be publicly embarrassed.
Too late. That's definitely too late.
Bomba.
You feel me? I don't want to be publicly embarrassed. She wasn't fucking with shit. Okay, I don't want to be publicly embarrassed, right?
Too late for that one.
I don't want to be publicly disrespected, right? And I don't want her to let no nigga slide that's trying to get on that.
Bruh.
Like, I'm not saying you gotta be disrespectful to the nigga and just automatically dub the nigga, but no entertaining that shit. Put a nigga in the friend zone. The niggas that watch Twitch more, I'm publicly embarrassed now. Bro, I've been publicly embarrassed about that shit, nigga. Everybody that know me was like, what the fuck? Nigga, just because not everybody knew, a lot of people knew. I got a lot of supporters, bro. Everybody that knew me knew that we was together. So I was getting embarrassed the whole time, bro. Y'all should have seen my Discord game. These niggas on my ass. I'm like, and the thing is, I'm in the Discord. I'm like, nah, you're not doing shit. Nah, nothing happening. Nothing.
Yeah, you're in denial, bro.
Going on. No entertaining shit. Nothing. You feel me? We knew. Yeah, all y'all niggas knew. But and let me tell y'all why. There's 3 things that I don't.
Bro, and look, what I say here. This guy needs to get rid of that chick immediately. From the clips I've seen of this 304 on my ex feed, she behaves like she's single. This guy's gonna learn the hard way what happens when your girlfriend is a clout-thirsty streamer / influencer. Bro, I've been saying this shit forever, man. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with these guys. Like, these dudes don't listen to me or whatever, whether it was me warning, warning Neon, right? It was me warning Jack Doherty. It was me warning this nigga right here. Like me saying that, warning Kai Cenat with his girlfriend. Bro, I've been warning all these guys and they never fucking listen. Bro, if your girl wants to be a streamer, it's a wrap, bro. It's over. It's over. The only way a relationship will work with one party being an influencer is if the man is the influencer, if the man is a star. It never works when the girl's a star. All right? All you stupid young niggas, please listen up, okay? I'm gonna say this once and once only. If you're gonna get into a relationship with a girl, if you're gonna deal with a girl, and she wants to be a streamer, it's a wrap for you, okay? I'm sorry, it's not gonna work. The only way it will work is if you're the star. If you're the star, things will work. If she's a star, cooked. Women don't know how to behave when they're famous. You understand? If you become famous as the guy, you will still keep your chick around because men, we're like Pokemon fucking trainers. We want to catch them all, right? We'll collect a couple. You got a team of 6, right? You got your Mewtwo, right? He's psychic. You got your fucking Zapdos, electric. You got your Blastoise, water. You got your Venusaur, leaf. Then you got your Charizard, fire, right? And then you can add in somebody else, maybe a Mew, another psychic if you want, if that's your type. We collect. Women aren't like that. You understand? Women are not like that. Okay? They're looking for the best. They just want one Pokemon. Okay? And the problem with them is that when they got a good Pokemon, they'll still look at other ones and be like, oh, well, that Pokemon's a little bit stronger. I might go with him. And then drop the Pokemon that she got. We are not the same. Okay? Men know how to behave when we have leverage and power. Women don't. And the reason why they don't is because their hypergamy short circuits their brain so that they don't know how to behave when they have leverage in a relationship. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Women are terrible people when they have leverage in a relationship. They're terrible fucking people. And it's not until people get cooked like this guy by his comment section, getting embarrassed on the internet, that niggas wake up and he still hasn't woken up. He still hasn't woken up. These young guys are fucking ridiculous, bro. They don't get it. Your girl can't be a star, bro. Sorry. She wants to be an entertainer? Cooked. Over. Call me fucking toxic. But women don't do well when they have power in a relationship, bro. And they don't do well when they have leverage over you either. Ask any guy that's ever had to live with a woman and she was paying the rent. Oh yeah, you'll learn real quick how fucking insufferable these women can be. You'll learn that shit real quick. You ain't shit, nigga. What are you still doing here? You a bum. Not the same, bro. You support a chick. We are built to provide for women. Women are not built to provide for men. Okay? And the characteristics that lead to you being able to build, guess what that hinges upon? Your income and your status. Guess what happens if the woman has the income and the status? You're fucking cooked. You're fucking cooked. And look, I like in the streaming world, you can literally see it. This girl, Michaela, whatever the fuck her name is, a talentless whore. Who cares? Jack puts her on, right? She was a nobody when he met her. He puts her on, gets her all these followers, gets her a bunch of money on OnlyFans. What does she do? She leaves, turns into fuck Goku. She on with fat ass Lacey. Right? Using him for clout. She ain't fucking him or nothing, but she's using him and making it look that way. And then when she's done with him, she's gonna hop on to the next fucking guy. That's what women do. They monkey branch. Hypergamy knows no bounds, guys. Whether it's in the workplace, in the streamer world, in real life, it doesn't matter. Hypergamy is hypergamy. And it amazes me how these fucking streamers don't get this shit. Like, I'm over here saying this stuff, warning these niggas, bro, don't give these bitches no fucking leverage, no nothing. If I was to be a guy and I got in a relationship with one of these bitches, I'd be taking 70%. I would literally take 70% from these girls. Oh, you want to be a streamer? You want to come up off me? I'll take a 70%. Fuck you. Because I know how this is going to end. I know how this is going to end, so I'm going to make sure I get my shit up front because I know how females are. Not that I would do that, but I'm just hypothetically speaking. Right? If any of these guys want to put these bitches on, they need to take 70%, man. They need to take 70% because these hoes are not talented, bro. They're not talented. Every single female streamer sucks. They fucking suck. And I got to be the only nigga to say this shit. Everybody else, Myron, you just hate on women. Man, let me get my energy drink, bro. I'm about to cook. Hold on, man. What the fuck? Now y'all got me going. In honor of me cooking the Shaniqua, I got my watermelon monster, okay? Since I'm cooking a Shaniqua. Look, bro. To every streamer out there that's listening to this, if a girl wants to go ahead and come up off you, you need to do the rice gum method. Rice gum, I think, took like 50% of his chick stuff. You need to take 70. And the reason why you need to take 70, guys, you need to understand that these women, right, don't have talent. Okay? I'm saying it. Everyone else is too bitchy, is too fucking pussy to say it, so I'll say it. Every single female streamer sucks. Now, before you guys say, what about Candace Owens? I don't put Candace Owens in this realm of female streamers at all. Right? I'm talking about the typical ones that you guys see on your X feed. The dumb bitches, the retards, the ones that have OnlyFans, the one that have these other accounts that are pseudo OnlyFans accounts, right? That's what I'm talking about. The ones that leverage their sexuality for attention. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Candace Owens, Laura Loomer, these types of chicks. These girls are political commentators. They're not showing their tits for attention. These other girls are, right? So, outside of like a few, right? 99% of female streamers suck. They're not interesting. They're not smart. They can't provide any value. A lot of them view bot because they suck so much, okay, to create this fake air of having clout. You know me, I never view bot. I just leave my numbers up there. Y'all see it all the time. Some of y'all niggas, Myron, you fell off or whatever the fuck. Hey, I never fucking view botted. You know that. Right? And my chat still goes fucking faster than half these motherfuckers. They'll have 20K watching and their chat is still standing still. The fuck? And I multi-stream on multiple platforms. So, yeah, bro. Any up-and-coming streamer that's a guy, female wants to latch onto you, you need to take 70%. I'm telling you, bro. These girls are talentless fucking whores, man. Bitch's name is CookingWithKya, but she's being a whore at Streamer University. Incredible. Well, let me see here. I'll show y'all what, like an example of what I'm talking about here. Because this shit is starting to get ridiculous now with these female streamers, man. And the Streamer University shit, like, they were, like, propping up all these whores. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, look at this shit, bro. What is this, nigga? Bro, I hate Twitch with a passion, man. Look at this shit. Bro. Nigga. Seriously? What? Bro. Bruh, all I see? These fucking whores, man. And this is on Twitch, by the way. FYI, on fucking Twitch, man. On fucking Twitch. These fucking losers will ban me for giving y'all real political commentary on what the fuck is going on in Gaza, right? What the fuck is going on with the GOP, with the Democratic Party. We're doing real-time analysis of multiple armed conflicts, whether it's in Russia and Ukraine or with the Israelis in Gaza, foreign policy, domestic policy, the economy, tariffs, all this other shit. Niggas ban me for that on Twitch, but then they let fucking this chick right here chimp out and twerk all over the fucking place. Mind you, most of the people that watch this bitch are kids. Fucking kids. Fuck Twitch, man. Fuck Twitch. At this rate, these niggas are gonna be out of business soon enough, man. Bruh. And this nigga talking about, oh, bro, I'm embarrassed. Nigga, I just typed her name once, and this is the first video that comes up, bro. Look at this shit. This bitch don't go to the gym even. These weave warriors just thirst trapping all over the place, man. What the fuck? Bruh. See, niggas wonder why I make fun of black people so much. We don't push good content, man. What is this shit? This is not educational at all. This is some retarded nigga shit, man. Anyway. Bruh. All right, man. I'm done. I've lowered my fucking IQ looking at that shit, bro. But yeah, as you guys can see, the cumulative the cumulative IQ of the individuals that went to Streamer University is probably a 60. Niggas are retarded. I didn't see one smart streamer in that fucking bitch. I get it, creative idea and shit, but it's like, bro, it's a bunch of fucking... If we're gonna be honest, I ain't see no white people in there. I seen one Asian bitch with that looks like a fucking plank. Her nickname is Plank, by the way, and an Eddie status, right? And that's about it. I ain't see like no other race. Anyway, man. Shit is crazy, bro. Shit is crazy. Now my X feed is gonna be cooked with this shit. Fuck, man. Man, I hope y'all niggas like that. Yo, like the goddamn video. Now my fucking X feed is gonna be cooked. I tried my best to make it, you know, higher IQ shit, political stuff. Now it's gonna be fucking... Now it's gonna be filled with a bunch of fucking weave warriors now after this shit, bro. Holy. Bro. She should change her name to fucking CookingWithKya. Fucking embarrassing. Bitch has a boyfriend too, doing this shit. Crazy, bro. Crazy. Crazy, crazy. All right. What's your favorite water-based lubricant? Pop. Nigga, what the fuck? All right. Caught up on there. Let's see here. Bro. We're doomed. Kumo TV, I sent this yesterday right before you got off. I really appreciate you, bro. This means everything to me right now. You're fucking goat, Don DeMarco, my guy. All right. Look, I'm going to put this up for you, Julius, but nigga, you got to get your shit together, bro. You got to get your shit together, nigga. You can't ask for handouts forever. You've been dealing with this shit for 7 years? Come on, man. You got to do better, bro. But we're gonna hook you up. We're gonna help you out. So guys, let's help out our guy, Kumo. Basically, let me get this shit on screen real quick. Let's help kickstart it. So he has the full story here, but basically he's in a custody battle for his daughter, man. He's got put in some bullshit. So, help the brother out. Here he is, right here. Hold on. Hold on one sec, chat. All right, cool. I got it saved here. I'll bring it up later in the stream when we have more viewership, so you get the most out of it. I got you, though. We'll help get you kickstarted, though. No problem. I just see if disciplining his son. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Fresh as dog. I don't know what you're talking about. Yo, Myron, off subject, I'm pre-qualified for a duplex. Do you think it's worth it in New Jersey? If the numbers work, then do it, bro. If the numbers work, absolutely do it. Sorry, guys, I worked out earlier, so I'm a little sweaty. Can you show to the audience how pussy whipped Logan Paul is? He literally got chastised by his wife, and he looks down and says, Nina is right, whatever she says goes. Wait, what? Send me the link, bro. Can you also address how women use pregnancy as an excuse to act like a bitch? Women back then had 10 to 15 children, still stayed in shape and didn't complain, but now they do now because they aren't. Well, it is what it is. Reprimanded for complaining and making everything about them if you give a weak people power. Okay. Abdul, get the rocks. All right. Happy Memorial Day, Myron. You got any stories of members you lost on a job? No, thankfully none. None of my friends have been axed, so thank God. Okay. So, why are you guys spamming react to Liverpool? Bro, do you niggas not know that England is cooked? I've been telling y'all this forever. Well, you guys are just realizing this now? It's a rapidly evolving event, but basically this is what went down. Show you guys real quick in Liverpool. Some fucking crazy bastard
you play bonuses?
decided to run people over.
Oh my god.
Absolutely nuts. Let's see if we can hold on. Let's go to YouTube real quick. Let's see what the breaking news is on this shit. What's the latest that we got? Because this literally happened a few hours ago.
This city.
And then we'll go into the debate.
Unusual.
Then we'll go into the debate after this chat.
That level of detail at that very early stage of the investigation. But this is a police force that...
Guys, do me a favor. Like the video, ninjas. Like the video. Okay?
...underwent quite stinging criticism in the aftermath of the Southport attack recently. And that information void was a space in which conspiracy theories and wrong information was allowed to flourish online. And I think part of that thinking probably informed their decision-making and the information that they have shared with the public this evening to try to give some kind of answer. But of course, the big question as to why this car drove in the manner that it did, so many people on that street at that time, many people just at a loss to understand how that could happen at all. Was it a moment of confrontation for some reason, or a medical incident? There are so many possible things that could have happened there, but it is only the emergency services that will have that first account of the chain of events. They'll talk to all the witnesses who were there. Some of them will have made their way home, some of them many miles away, but they have asked people to get in touch with footage that they may have, with accounts that they may have, what they saw on Water Street in Liverpool at 6 o'clock tonight, and they've said that people can provide that to them anonymously as well if they want to. So there will be a police investigation that gets underway now on Water Street, and it will fan out in many different directions. But the man who was driving that car is in the custody of Merseyside Police and will be questioned very soon, if not already, to try to get at least a first understanding from him, if he is willing to share it, of why that car lurched into the crowd in the way that it did.
Tom, for now, thanks very much. You can see the scene there, that news conference. We're expecting the Assistant Chief Constable of Merseyside Police, the Chief Fire Officer, Nick Searle, the Leader of Liverpool City Council, Liam Robinson, as well as North West Ambulance Service. We're expecting they will make statements to bring us up to date with what they know so far about this investigation. But of course, today was a day we should have been talking about football and the world of sport, watching on another victory parade, and one that the city of Liverpool has waited a long time for. We can speak to Rob Harris, our sports correspondent. And Rob, a lot of reaction from the world of football, the world of sport, to what's happened here today.
Yes, many expressions of concern about this incident from Liverpool's rivals, Everton, expressing their solidarity and their thoughts and prayers. Liverpool themselves saying they're in direct contact with the police and offering their full support to the emergency services, the Premier League as well, talking about their shock at the appalling events in Liverpool, as their statement says, offering their heartfelt thoughts to all those injured and affected. Obviously, we're waiting now to receive the details of the numbers injured when the car ploughed through the crowd. And it was a crowd that had come out for such a day of celebrations. It wasn't just any trophy parade. It was the moment Liverpool celebrated becoming the 20 times champions, a record that they now share again with Manchester United. They waited so long to win the title. They won it in 1990, had to wait until 2020 to win it again, then won it during the pandemic. I was there on Anfield, in Anfield, when they won it in an empty stadium because fans were kept out. So they were denied a parade on that day. And then this season, a season when they so unexpectedly won the Premier League. It wasn't meant to necessarily be their season. Jurgen Klopp having left last season and new manager Arne Slot coming in. It was meant to be a season of transition. So they really have confounded expectations, even of their own fans, to end a season in glory. But this parade, when so many hundreds of thousands of people came into Liverpool from the Merseyside area and far and beyond overseas as well, well, they've witnessed scenes of utter horror and devastation. Those right near the end of the parade route, by the waterfront, by the River Mersey, the car reported to be going towards the Strand area where you are tonight. And just a short time earlier, that is where the open-top buses had been completing their 10-mile route across the city, where so many of these streets were absolutely crowded, red flares being set off. And it really gave you a sense of the magnitude of the achievement and also the size of the club and its fan base, the fact they can draw in such an extensive crowd to witness such celebrations. And it was already a major policing operation as well. The fact they'd been building up to this during the week, they'd had a month to build up because it was at the end of April that this Premier League title was secured. Such was their dominance on the pitch this season. And it was a major policing operation in place with so many officers around. And across the country, it has been a day of parades as well. In London for Crystal Palace's men with the FA Cup, for Arsenal's women with the Champions League. On Friday as well at Tottenham Hotspur, a large parade there with hundreds of thousands. So over the last few days, intense policing operations around so many parades as the football season domestically draws to a close. And this was Liverpool's day, with so many having their chance to party and parade through the streets and to just be with so many of the extent of this incident and to offer their support in any way. And the Football Association, as well at a national level,
I'm going to see if they identified the guy yet.
With the city of Liverpool and everyone affected. And as we see the scene there of the police tents there at the scene, the Health Secretary, Wes Streeting, also talking about the heroic actions of the emergency services, who he calls amazing this evening, dealing with the incident. Wes Streeting saying his heart goes out to everyone impacted by this horrible incident, saying that the
So the police have somebody in custody.
Health Department is working with NHS England to keep a
50-year-old white British man from Liverpool area, allegedly.
Across any developments. And from those involved in the council, talking about how this has unfolded into a dark day, from one that was meant to be so celebratory, a moment of joy in what can often obviously be quite a troubling world, football bringing that joy to so many and being able to celebrate, but those celebrations now.
Now there's a Twitter space on this as well. Let's see what they're saying. We'll jump in here real quick. And then we'll get into the debate with Charlie Kirk. Let's see.
Yeah, she barely just started coming out against violent guys. Like, she voted for Kamala, so that just says it all.
Well, the other problem with that is that I called around about her, and I have no idea who she is. Like, that's the other weird thing about her.
I know. I've been trying to look and see where she came from, and I couldn't find anything either.
Well, people are saying that she's like some big fundraiser. I'm like, for who? From where? Like, I've never heard of this person before, and I called a couple people, and they never heard of her before. And my contacts for the consulting world in politics is much more significant.
All right. Niggas is yapping. Let's go back to this thing.
Turning into a day of distress and horror.
Rob Harris, you're right. What should have been a day of...
As people were walking away from the city centre tonight.
All right, so the police are going to give a press conference soon.
The shock and the distress and the dejection.
Because right now it's late. It's probably around midnight or 1 a.m. in England.
This great party.
They're roughly 7 hours ahead, if I'm not... 5 hours ahead, I think.
ended
So it's probably around 10 p.m. over there right now, 10:30.
in this particular way. And it has led, of course, to a lot of boards because, in their words, next of kin will be contacted. So please help us to manage the incident as best we can by refraining from calling our switchboard. That a plea from some of the hospitals in Liverpool tonight. Of course, many concerned relatives and friends who perhaps hadn't had contact with people who were in these huge crowds, and that could have been for all kinds of reasons, but naturally seeing the news unfold since.
All right, I'll join Suleiman Space instead. Let me unmute this real quick.
It's the only other video I have so far that looks anything interesting about it.
So they got him before anybody else could release him. Wow.
Well,
Well,
the
they
UK,
put- well,
so
they-
they're
well,
communist
they-
countries, so they,
Yeah,
they managed to hide things very well.
I think they were just Jewish soccer players that attacked a car
No way, Jose. Let's not.
that
No
had a
way.
Muslim
Yeah, like if you're gonna just
driver.
talk, if you're just gonna.
All right, man. People are retarded on Twitter, bro. Okay, let's go on here. The thing I hate about Twitter is like, there's so many stupid people on X that like don't really have a platform and they just be yapping. Like, bro, not everybody deserves a mic in these spaces, man. It's really annoying. Like, not everybody's a good speaker or should be talking.
Every speaker has.
Just let him finish his point. Damien, we'll come to you in a second.
Another point, Suleiman. Normally, when there's a big parade like this, yeah, how's the car even got there? That's a...
No, I read the fucking Rumble chat too, motherfucker. What the hell are you guys talking about saying I only read the YouTube chat? I read the Rumble chat for sure. Do you not see all the chats are all on the screen, bro?
I appreciate US who may not know, they're like the rivals of Liverpool. They're from the Liverpool area, but Everton are the rivals of Liverpool. They put out a statement and they said, our thoughts are with all of those who have been affected by this serious incident in the city. So that is a statement by Everton Football Club. That's the latest information we've got there in terms of the latest news. As I said, the press conference is likely going to be starting any second now. So once it does, guys, we will mute it and let everybody know. They'll, as they said, they are going to tell us in the press conference the number of casualties. They're going to tell us the number of injuries, the number of people who may have passed away. They're going to tell us more information about the extremist attack that happened today. I just want to welcome Myron and Dr. Shola onto the stage. I appreciate you guys coming on as well.
What's up, man? Yo, I'm on stream right now, man. I was just wondering. Obviously, I knew you'd have a good grasp on this because the other space is filled with fucking retards. Can you kind of give? Because in America, we're kind of just figuring this out about this attack. Can you kind of give the people a quick summary, your American audience, of what went down? I'm sure you probably already did it earlier, but if you could do one real quick since I'm live.
Yeah, of course, for your audience. Yeah, we'll do it because I always think it's important for the American audience to know exactly what's going on. So in the basically what happened earlier today was Liverpool Football Club won the Premier League. So they basically were champions of the UK, of England, if you want to put it that way, in terms of from a footballing perspective. They'd won the Premier League. And normally when you win the Premier League, you have a parade, as you guys do in the US. So today was the parade. So today was the parade where Liverpool were parading the fact they'd won the Premier League. And what happened was a car obviously got through the barricades. Again, we need more information on how they got through the barricades. But the car went through and hit a number of innocent people from Liverpool. Now, the question is that immediately when it happened, a lot of the media in the UK and the US start propagating that this is a guy, he's a Muslim, he's from the Middle East, that Manchester's overrun by Middle Easterners, which is actually all fake news. And you basically had a scenario where they were perpetuating all this. The police came out immediately and said that actually we've apprehended a 53-year-old white male guy. Now, in my view, the reason they did that is because you already had people like Lawrence Fox, like Julia Hartley-Brewer, like Joey Barton, and then Nick Sauter and Gunther and Naomi Sibley and all these guys who all were like, oh, it's a Middle Easterner or it's a Muslim or whatever it may be. Now, the concern for the police, in my view, is that you're going to end up having what you had last time after the Southport attack, when the fake news about that got propagated that it was a Muslim, and you'll end up having riots. People will go to the hotels and start burning them up. People will start attacking people. And so their concern was that actually what's going to be for the most public benefit, and they thought, actually, let's release this information so we don't stop riots in the streets of the UK. So in my view, that's why they released that information. Then what happened on social media is they made two different fake news, which we've debunked. The first one is there's a video of an elderly guy being arrested. That guy is a Liverpool fan. He was attacking the guy in the car. He's older than 50, you can quite clearly tell. Maybe for people from the United States, it looks like he might be 50 because you guys age because of the horrible food. But like he's much younger. I mean, so he's much older than 53. That guy's obviously a Liverpool fan because a lot of Liverpool fans start attacking the car. But that's not the 53-year-old guy that the police are referring to. They then posted and showed a picture of a guy who was tanned. So because he was tanned, they tried to make it look like, again, it was a Middle Easterner. But then again, I've just debunked that because that's basically a guy from a Scouser. Scouser is basically the nickname for people from Liverpool, who's basically just having a laugh during the parade because they were happy, they were excited during the parade. They seen a police car. This is before the incident occurred. He jumped into the police car, stole the police car's hat, then gave it back and just had a bit of a laugh. If you can see the video on my page. So again, that was fake news. So in reality, to sum it all up, this was an attack. It was likely I mean we know it was a 53-year-old white man who basically conducted the attack. We don't have a picture of him. We're waiting for that to come through. Yeah, that's basically the crux of what's happened today.
All right, so we still don't know officially who the violator is at all.
In terms of his picture, we don't have it, but in terms of his description, we have it.
Are you sure it's actually a white person, or was that just said just to kind of keep them from rioting in the streets?
No. I mean, look, if they end up being wrong about it, which I don't believe they are, that would cause them. That would have caused the right-wing media and a lot of the people like Julia Hartley-Brewer, Lawrence Fox, and Julia, all those guys to attack and say, look, they lied. It was actually, a migrant or a Muslim, and in reality, they lied and said it was a white guy. That would actually cause more probably riots immediately after the truth came out. So no, I don't think that they lied about it. I think it's actually accurate that that's what's happened. But I believe the reason they released it, because that's always a judgment call, is because of concerns that if they allowed it to stew on social media, people propagate fake news, like they did about the Southport attack. They said he was a Muslim, and later on we found out he was a Christian. So they thought, let's get out ahead of it this time.
Gotcha.
I think it would cause significant.
Appreciate that, Myron.
No
worries. Thanks for coming, Dr. Shola. Go ahead, jump in. What's your thoughts?
It will cause significant reputation.
All right, so there you go, guys. How about this, guys? When they start the press conference, we'll go ahead and we'll jump in there and see what's going on. But that's the latest. That comes from Suleiman. He's over there in the UK. So we'll see what happens. Okay, let me read some of these chats. Okay, let's see. We got Nova. Did you go over the small hats that got ran up in DC yet? All right, that was a random act of anti-Semitism. Yeah, I covered it the other day, Nova 97. Covered it. It literally, it's on my, go on Myron Gaines X on YouTube or Rumble and you'll see it. Dude, scroll through. Wait, no. Dude, scroll through the News Telegram channel, Rerum Novarum. They have a video of the attacker who was a white 53-year-old. Okay. Notice how they keep saying the car drove into the car instead of blaming the person's fair. What's your thoughts on the new World War III songs? Ye was able to re-release it. They censored the fuck out of it. I didn't hear the new one. Happy Memorial Day, Myron. Okay, we got that one. Let me see here. Make sure I didn't catch anything. Okay, Double Digit IQ says, Dave Portnoy lets his ex-wife, who's married to another man, have full access to his bank account. There's a clip. 2 used to be more popular than Kya when they started, but the switch flipped and now Briffwaltz. 3, Kya girlfriend called him a bitch to his face. Well, I mean, I hate being right all the time, bro. I hate being right all the time. I'm trying to warn niggas, bro, and they don't listen to me. They just call me an angry misogynist when I be telling people, they'll never give these women power, bro. They'll fuck your life up every time. Because when women get fame, there is no game. I'm telling y'all, man. They don't know how to act when they got power, bro. They don't know how to act when they got power. This Travis Hunter really married that chick with no prenup. Man, cook this young niggas. Bro, these young niggas are idiots, bro. I'm trying to tell you. Guys, the simping in this generation is absolutely nuts, bro. Absolutely nuts. I remember we used to bully people for being simps on girls, or we used to call it white knighting back in the day. We used to call it white knighting. Now, all these niggas are fucking simps, bro. It's like there's like a gooning / simp epidemic. Why do you think OnlyFans exploded, bro? Crazy. And these streamers like perpetuate the gooning culture / the simping culture, man. They all simp on these bitches. It's fucking crazy, bro. Whatever. Pop says, what's your favorite water base? No. Alboy says, hey, bro, off topic. But do you prefer PPL training or full body workout? What do you think is better? I mostly do full body workouts, bro, to be honest with you. I don't do split body parts. The people that typically do split body parts tend to be on drugs, bro. I'm gonna keep it all the way 1,000 with you. If you're using gear, yeah, definitely splits is the way to go. So, yeah. Okay, hold on one sec, chat. I'm pinning something to the chat for you ninjas for the super chats. And again, guys, MyronGainsX.com or Rumble Rant or Castle Club, whatever you guys want, whatever's easiest for you ninjas. So, whatever is easiest for you, my ninjas. All right, let's go back to this press conference, see what they're yapping about.
Information and how things can quickly escalate with the riots that followed the attack in Southport. And that is part of police communications now, to try to make sure that they are as transparent and open as possible, but also balance that with protecting the investigation that they now have up and running, and just being mindful of that really difficult social media space that allows conspiracy theories, it allows completely factually incorrect information to circulate incredibly quickly, and therefore that is part of the police thinking as to how they share information with the public, when they share that information with the public. And it's not unusual to have a delay to these kind of press conferences, because there may be many things going on behind the scenes where they are having conversations with loved ones. They may be kind of working out precisely what other details of the investigation they can share.
Tom, for now, thank you. Let's go to that news conference now. The Deputy Chief Constable of Merseyside Police, Jenny Sim, with the ambulance service and the fire service with their update on.
Man, female police, we cooked.
What's happening?
UK is cooked.
Good evening. I'm Assistant Chief Constable Jenny Sims from Merseyside Police. Firstly, my thoughts are with all those injured in tonight's horrific incident, their family and friends, and all of those affected by the terrible tragedy that has taken place today. I want to thank all of the emergency services, partner agencies, and members of the public who came to the assistance of the injured following this evening's shocking incidents, which we declared a major incident. This had been a joyous day in Liverpool, with hundreds of thousands of people lining the streets to celebrate Liverpool Football Club's victory parade. Sadly, at 6 o'clock this evening, as the parade was drawing to a close, we received reports that a car had been in a collision with a number of pedestrians on Water Street in Liverpool city centre. A number of people have been injured and were taken to hospital. In addition, a large number of people of all ages were treated at the scene but did not require hospital treatment. Specialist officers have been put in place to support the injured and their families. Our emergency service colleagues from the North West Ambulance Service and Mersey Fire and Rescue Service also attended the scene and will be able to provide further updates. The car stopped at the scene and a 53-year-old white British man from the Liverpool area was arrested. We believe him to be the driver of the vehicle. Extensive inquiries are ongoing to establish the circumstances leading up to the collision, and it is vital that people do not speculate or spread misinformation on social media. I know that people will understandably be concerned by what has happened tonight. What I can tell you is that we believe this to be an isolated incident, and we are not currently looking for anyone else in relation to it. The incident is not being treated as terrorism.
Wait, what?
We would ask that people refrain from sharing distressing footage from the incident online, and please share any information directly with our investigation team. Information, including video footage, can be passed on via the Merseyside Major Incident Police Portable. Detail can be found on the Merseyside Police website. In the lead up to this event, we have been working closely with event organisers, and a robust traffic management plan was put in place for the parade, which included a number of road closures throughout the route and the city centre. We will provide further updates as soon as we have them. I'll now hand over to my colleague Dave Kitchen from the North West Ambulance Service.
Thank you. Good evening, I'm Dave Kitchen, Head of Service for the Cheshire Merseyside area of NWAS. All of us at North West Ambulance Service are horrified and saddened that a day of celebration for the people of Liverpool could end in such terrible circumstances. Our thoughts are with everyone who witnessed the incident and those who have been injured. As large crowds were expected in the city centre today to celebrate Liverpool Football Club's victory, we thankfully had a substantial presence already in place close to the route, as we would do for any event of this type. Our ambulances, hazardous area response team, merit doctors, North West Air Ambulance colleagues and senior clinicians were very quickly on scene to offer aid and treatment. St John Ambulance also had clinical teams present to support us throughout the day and were quick to respond, and our thanks go to them for their assistance. Our emergency ambulances took patients to our NHS colleagues at the Royal Liverpool Hospital, Alder Hey, Arrow Park and Aintree hospitals. Sadly, 4 of the injured were children who were enjoying the day with their friends and their families. We can confirm that our teams treated 20 patients at the scene for minor injuries, and these did not need hospital treatment. 27 patients in total were taken to hospital by ambulance, and we believe 2 of those, including one of the children, have sustained serious injuries. Our cyclist paramedic, who was on scene, was also unfortunately struck by the vehicle, but I'm pleased to report that no injuries were sustained. We also know that some patients have self-presented at local hospitals following the incident. We're working closely with our partners at Merseyside Police and share their appeal for calm.
So no fatalities, it seems, right, Chad?
And we understand that people will be deeply upset. The people of Liverpool have shown many times before that you're a strong community and you support one another. All of us at North West Ambulance Service share with you the frustration that this wonderful day has ended like this. And we hope that those who have been injured make a speedy recovery. We'd also like to extend our thanks to Merseyside Fire and Rescue Service and Merseyside Police, both of whom assisted in attending to the injured in a very rapid sequence, as did many of the supporters in the city centre. As well as our NHS colleagues who will continue the treatment, everybody has played their part today. At this point, I'd just like to pass over to Isr L, the Chief Fire Officer. Thank you.
Good evening. Firstly, our thoughts are with everyone who's been affected by the incident this evening. Merseyside Fire and Rescue Service were informed at 18:07 hours. We immediately mobilised 3 fire engines to Water Street and were in attendance in 4 minutes.
Guys, after this, then I'll go into the Charlie Kirk stuff after they finish this press conference.
People and 4 persons trapped under a vehicle. Our crews rapidly lifted the vehicle, removed 3 adults and 1 child from beneath and passed them to our ambulance service colleagues. We then worked with emergency service partners to ensure casualties received medical treatment and transport to hospital as quickly as possible. My fire crews will maintain a visible and reassuring presence in the coming days and weeks. I'll now hand you over to Liam Robinson from Liverpool City Council.
Thank you. I'd like to start by saying on behalf of everyone here in Liverpool how much our thoughts and prayers are with those affected by this appalling incident in the city centre today. It's cast a very dark shadow over what had been a joyous day for the city and the finale to a fabulous bank holiday weekend. I'd particularly like to pay tribute to the emergency services.
Guys, can we smash the like button, get to 1,000?
And to our NHS staff.
We're at 837. Let's get to 1,000, guys.
We're working very closely with Merseyside Police to support their investigation and with other relevant organisations to make sure those affected get the appropriate support. I would appeal for people, please do not share the horrifying footage of the incident on social media. Please, if you have any information, forward it to Merseyside Police to help them with their investigation. We won't be commenting any further, but we will provide relevant updates as and when we know more and it's appropriate to do so. Once again, our hearts go out to all of those affected. Liverpool is a city that has a proud history of coming together and supporting each other during challenging times. I've no doubt that will again be the case over the coming days and weeks. Thank you.
All right. That looks like it's the end of the press conference right there. So looks like we got no casualties. A couple people self-admitted to the hospital. A couple people hurt. They're saying that there's no other co-conspirators to their knowledge, and they're not labeling it a terrorist attack. Interesting.
So that at the end of the news conference from Liverpool, in which we heard from the Deputy Chief Constable Jenny Sims, first of all, in which she described the fact that it had been a joyous day in Liverpool with hundreds of thousands of people lining the streets to celebrate Liverpool Football Club's victory parade.
All right, we'll see what happens.
She said that extensive inquiries are on.
All right, let's get into the debates, guys. We're at 937. Let's get to 1,000, guys. Let's get to 1,000. 1,000 likes. 1,000 likes. And we're going to start cooking. Listen to a little bit of this conversation.
And the only reason, we mentioned this earlier, Tam, before you came, that the only reason they mentioned it is because they knew that these guys are going to start doing riots on the streets of UK. They're going to start burning up hotels. And so for public safety purposes, they had to reveal who it was. Also, the information came out because a lot of Liverpool fans had already gone on news and explained it. For example, I posted a tweet where somebody, a Liverpool fan, went to BBC News and said, actually, I saw it. It was a white guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate people out there to celebrate their city's achievements in sport, and yet you get these idiots, these far-right guys just completely show no remorse, and that's what makes me laugh. I don't know why the British public doesn't see that these people do not care about them. They're there to make splits between all the ethnicities. They're trying to divide the country, a country which has been lasting so many years, and so many ethnicities bring so much to the table. As we know, growing up as children of immigrants who've brought so much, whether it's through the NHS or other professions, and it's just funny to see. And I don't know why when people will start waking up. I was just looking to see if there's any kind of nice post by a few of these clowns, and I'm a bit kind of surprised by their reactions.
Yeah,
am I the only one that thought BS when the police said, "Oh, we see this as an isolated event, and it's not terrorism"? Because I'm thinking to myself, isolated? So when it's a white British man, it's isolated. But this had been a black, brown, Muslim.
All right. Let's go ahead and get into this debate right here. Okay, guys. So we covered Liverpool. Right now, as we know, they're not looking at a terrorist attack. Isolated incident. 53-year-old Caucasian man in custody, allegedly. And we'll see what happens with developments. But luckily, nobody died, at least not yet. Couple injuries, couple people reported themselves to jail. Also, guys, I think I'm looking at the quality right now on X, and the stream does not look that good on X, man. I think I'm gonna have to start going back to using Restream on X, because it's only coming in 720p on Twitter when I stream. Which, if you guys are watching me stream right now on Twitter, if you watch on YouTube or Rumble, guys, it's way better quality. On Rumble, I'm 1080p, and on YouTube, I'm 4K. So if you guys want a better quality stream, maybe come on over and watch on Rumble or on YouTube. YouTube is 4K, Rumble is 1080p, damn near 4K. So keep that in mind, guys. But yeah, I'm gonna. Someone said who watched on X. A lot of people watch on X, bro. A lot of people watch on X. I'm actually on X, YouTube, and Rumble right now, and Castle Club. Shout out to all my Castle Club ninjas. Let's see here. Any other chats? before we get into this Charlie Kirk debate. Cedric says, I can't see the link for some reason, but it's Paul American X in the video section. Other videos of him being submissive to her. Crazy. Kenny Tudge, loved our chat on Space a few weeks ago on Iran and the politics of the negotiations. Love to do a soon Spaghetti World Order on X. What are some full body workouts you could do at home? Air squats, pull-ups, push-ups. Why do men pay hundreds of dollars for a therapist that doesn't solve their issues when you can have Couch Club, which provides not only accountability partners, but people that you can network as well? Speedy, that's a good question. And it's way cheaper. Why do you think Russia is anti-J Crusader? You obviously know a little on the Ukraine-Russia conflict. 60% of Russian billionaires are J people. 45% of the Russian government is J people. I never said Russia is anti-J Crusader, retard. Never said that. Don't know where you're coming up with that thing, CD. So you are misquoting me, as usual, like other retards do. But I don't blame you, because you're a retard, and you don't know better. So yeah. Anyway, but yeah, you guys can watch wherever you guys want, Rumble, YouTube, or X. But I'm going to start streaming on, I'm definitely going to start doing X on probably Restream now, because I don't like the quality of this shit, and it's pissing me off, because I don't got these fucking nice-ass cameras here, so you guys don't get this good quality. God damn it. It's pissing me off. So, starting tomorrow, I'll be back on fucking, definitely be back on Restream for X, so you guys get better quality. I mean, look at it, man. Look, if you guys are watching on Rumble right now, it's pretty damn good quality, baby. You know, pretty damn good quality. If you're watching on YouTube, pretty damn good quality as well. 4K on YouTube, 1080p. Well, actually, it's 1920p on Rumble. So, yeah. Anyway, okay, let's get into it. All right, so here you guys can see here, Charlie Kirk breaks down how partnering with Israel benefits the U.S. So this is him debating against a Christian Palestinian, which is the equivalent to finding a fucking holographic Charizard. There aren't many Christian Palestinians, but they're out there. So let's go ahead and go through this debate. And yeah.
How are you, Charlie? Yes, big fan, by the way. Absolutely love you. I agree with mostly everything you say, except for one thing.
Guys, we're at 986 at 1,000. There we go. We're at 1030. Perfect. Let's get to 1,300, 50% engagement. Bare minimum, guys. Now we're getting into it. Let's go.
I don't agree with your overwhelming support for Israel, and
I don't think any of us do. This whole, you know, one thing about Charlie that I think actually hurts his reputation, and it's absolutely hurt Jordan Peterson significantly as well, is support of Israel. I think at this point now, guys, it's irrefutable that Israel is conducting a genocide. Okay? Even myself, you know, I, kind of stayed away from using that vernacular for a long time because I wanted to be 1,000% sure that it was a genocide. But it is, in fact, at this point, guys, irrefutable, okay, that Israel is conducting a genocide. And I'll show you guys a video on this here that I posted to my video, to my X timeline. If you guys aren't following me on X, you guys need to follow me on X. Myron Gaines X, by the way. Okay. Mehdi Hassan. Okay.
Genocide. Most media outlets in the West, even now, even as Israel continues to proudly flatten Gaza and starve the Palestinians of Gaza, refuse to use the term genocide. Joe Biden last year went out of his way to say what's happening in Gaza is not genocide. Keir Starmer refuses to say it is. And pro-Israel groups often accuse anyone who says Gaza is a genocide of perpetrating an anti-Semitic blood libel.
Crazy, bro.
And yet here's the thing they don't want you to know. Genocide experts are almost all in agreement that what's happening is a genocide, per the legal definition under the Genocide Convention.
Now, watch these sources that he's going to use.
Convention, acts committed with the intent.
There's the actual definition right there.
To destroy in whole or in part a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group. So here are the names, the expert names you need to know, including Jewish and Israeli experts, on the subject of genocide to avoid being gaslit by apologists for Israel. First, there are the academic experts who say Gaza is a genocide. Martin Shaw, who literally wrote the book, What is Genocide? Melanie O'Brien, who is the literal president of the International Association of Genocide Scholars.
And look at her. She's a liberal, and she's also one of them. But still understands that what's going on in Gaza is an atrocity.
Dirk Moses, who is the senior editor of the Journal of Genocide Research. Iva Vukušić, who helped prosecute the Srebrenica genocide. William Shabas, who even defended Myanmar against charges of genocide, against the Rohingya, but says what Israel is doing in Gaza now is a genocide. There are also the Israeli genocide experts, the Israeli historians of the Holocaust, who say Gaza is a genocide. Professors Omer Bartov, Amos Goldberg, Daniel Blattman, Raz Siegel, Lee Mordecai, Dr. Shmuel Lederman, who was originally opposed to calling Gaza a genocide, but now says, quote, what Israel is doing in Gaza is genocidal in every sense. Then there are the human rights groups who say Gaza is a genocide. Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, the legal clinics at top US universities who say it's a genocide, at Boston University School of Law, at Cornell Law School, at Yale Law School. The United Nations organizations and experts who say it's a genocide. The UN Independent International Commission of Inquiry. The UN Special Committee to investigate Israeli practices. Multiple UN special rapporteurs. In fact, speaking the other week to the Dutch newspaper NRC, the Israeli expert Raz Siegel said, can I name someone whose work I respect who doesn't consider it genocide? His answer, no. The Israeli expert Shmuel Lederman says it's now the consensus view among genocide researchers. So apologists for Israel and lazy and cowardly both sides media outlets might want to reject the charge of genocide in Gaza. They might want to pretend it's hyperbole or even anti-Semitic. But the experts, the actual experts on genocide, they know a genocide when they see one, and they see one in Gaza.
There you go. So if anyone ever tries to tell you that it's not a genocide, or they say some bullshit about, because this is the typical Israeli talking point, if it's a genocide, then we're doing a terrible job because we got 2 million Palestinians in Israel. No, bro. No. That's not going to fly no more. Okay? Because that's what they always say. That's what the Zionists always say. That's their fucking talking point. If we were trying to do a genocide, we're doing a terrible job. We're giving them aid. Bro, get the fuck out of here. So yes, guys, it is a genocide by every metric, even according to Israeli and Jewish scholars. Even Holocaust historians are referencing it as a genocide. So call it a fucking genocide until there's some goddamn change. Speaking of genocide, we'll also be covering Sudan as well. I got two things that I owe you guys I'm going to cover. We're going to cover Sudan, and we're also going to cover Dick Cheney. Now, Dick Cheney is the real, or was the real president of the United States during the Bush era, and the main architect for the Iraq war. So don't worry, guys. We are going to keep cooking on this channel, man. We're covering politics at a high level. But anyway, let's go back here. So this guy, a Christian Palestinian versus Charlie Kirk.
I have a Christian argument for you about it. My issue with it is that Israel helps funds Turkey, military, sells them missiles that end up killing Armenian citizens. How do you justify that as a Jewish nation is helping another country eliminate a Christian race?
So I don't support that, but we have a deeper problem with Turkey beyond Israel. Turkey's part of NATO.
Yes.
So we give them money.
Yeah.
Perfect deflection. You guys caught that? Just immediately fucking deflection.
So it's not an Israel problem, that's an America problem, right?
I agree.
So if your argument is against, which I'm no fan of Turkey, and I acknowledge the Armenian genocide for the record.
Yes.
Okay, that's good you acknowledge that. Erdogan is one of the biggest frauds ever, by the way. The leader of Turkey, aka the president, one of the biggest frauds.
Which a lot of people get mad about.
All he does is talk about, oh yeah, we're gonna help Palestine, or we condemn Israel, but they still do business with Israel all the time. All these Gulf states in Turkey, just so you guys know, by the way, FYI, let me be very blunt about this. Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, Oman, all these like very wealthy Gulf state countries, like they say they care about the Palestinians, but they really don't. They don't give a fuck. They still do business with Israel behind the scenes. Like a big reason why October 7th happened was because of the Abraham Accords. Saudi Arabia and all these Gulf state countries were going to literally start to recognize Israel. And that's a big reason why Hamas attacked, was because they knew with the Abraham Accords, if they didn't solve the Palestinian question first, they would never get it solved. So it was also to disrupt the Abraham Accords.
But I would put Israel aside to that for a second, because the arms they're selling are repurposed American arms usually. I don't know why Turkey should be part of NATO. I think Turkey should be kicked out of NATO for what they did to the Armenians, and they don't offer anything to America. They don't. Nothing.
well, Charlie, neither does Israel, FYI. Neither does Israel at all. I would argue Turkey probably gives us more benefit than Israel does. They're not as big of a bill. They have a big military that can actually protect themselves. Okay? So, no, they provide way more value than Israel does. Israel's a big fucking bill on our backs. Because not only do we run cover for Israel at the UN, right? And we run diplomacy cover for them. We also support them economically with the foreign aid, and we support them militarily. And then they go ahead and soil our fucking reputation with all the bullshit that they do. And they don't even listen to us. They don't even listen to us, man.
Erdogan is a very, very bad guy.
I agree, Erdogan is a fraud.
Becoming an Islamic dictator of a failing country. So I think it's an American problem. So I would put Israel aside on that.
But Israel also does sell them military aid.
So do we.
Yes, but
so we are the root cause of that, right?
Okay, and then the second part of my question is,
see, if I was debating, I would have countered, well, Turkey doesn't, because he said Turkey gives us no benefit. I would say Israel gives us no benefit. I would argue Turkey provides us more benefit than Israel does, by far.
U.S. gives a lot of benefits to Israel. How does Israel benefit us as a partner?
Now you're asking the real questions, my friend.
Well, first and foremost, you're a Christian.
Yes.
How do we know the Bible is true?
From the land of Israel, Palestine.
Well, that's not Palestine.
You want me to put British - Palestine? Does that help?
Well, as a Christian, so are you Armenian Christian?
No, I'm actually Palestinian.
Okay.
Oh.
So what?
He gave him the Uno reverse right there. There's not many Palestinian Christians.
You're a Christian?
Yes, I'm a Christian.
Okay, well, praise God. I'm thrilled to hear that.
Shout out to all my Christian guys in the chat. Shout out to all you guys. You guys stay trying to convert me, but I ain't leaving. Hey, man, I still fuck with y'all, though, man. I think we agree on one main topic.
But I think you can acknowledge that we as Christians have to honor the Jews. Do you believe that?
No. That is Schofield Bible propaganda that was paid for by the Rothschilds. But okay, let's keep going here.
I think we should honor everyone. People are people.
Some dumbass here said, Myron, why don't you debate anyone? You talk so much shit. Hey, Falcon Baines, are you retarded? Do you not know that I debate more people than anyone on the internet? I debate 10 girls a fucking day, retard, on our show. I debated a bunch of college kids, retard. I'm going to debate again on Friday. There you go. Announcement for you niggas. We're going to go ahead and set up a table and fucking debate in Miami, okay? So what the fuck are you talking about? I've debated more people than anyone, dickhead.
But at the end of the day. But in our scriptures, it does say that we should bless the Jews, that, you know, Genesis 12:3, bless those, I will bless those descendants that bless me. And we have a covenant with Israel. Do you share that as a Christian, that belief?
I think, how as I interpret that is that, like, at the end of the day, like,
So here's the problem with this guy. So let's go ahead and analyze this guy's debate mistake here. So they made this a religious debate, right? Now, this is where Charlie's actually strong, because one thing about Charlie Kirk is that he's also, not only is he a conservative commentator, he's also a Christian apologist on the low, guys, FYI. Just, I don't know if you guys caught on to this. He does this a lot where he'll debate these college kids. And a lot of these college kids are pretty secular. So what ends up happening is Charlie starts the conversation as, like, you know, a traditional conservative, but then he goes ahead and turns the conversation into Christianity, which is his strength because, you know, he reads the Bible, he understands the Bible very well, etc., compared to the average person, right? And he's coming in, right, saying, yo, I don't support Israel, right? And what he should have done was remove the Christian element and just strictly keep it geopolitical. Remove the religious element. I do understand that the topic of Israel does warrant sometimes, like, treading in religion to a degree, right? But you want to stay out of the religion space because in the religion space, it gives Charlie the advantage, okay, in this situation. And then now what is he doing? He's justifying our support of Israel through the Bible, right? So this is an argument that he wouldn't have been able to make had it just been an argument straight on politics, geopolitical situations, and contemporary events. Okay? So, the Schofield Bible, chat. I know some of you guys are saying which Bible. It's the Schofield Bible. Okay? The Schofield Bible was basically, which I guess is considered, well, again, this comes from my discussions with Andrew Wilson. I'm in no way a Christian scholar, but Andrew Wilson told me that the Schofield Bible is basically, dispensationalism, which he was explaining that to me. I learned a lot about Christianity through Andrew Wilson. Shout out to Andrew Wilson, bro. Because I ask him a lot of questions about this stuff, so I'm a little bit more well-versed. But basically, the way he explained it to me was the Schofield Bible is, a perfect example of dispensationalism and should obviously not be taken seriously. But yes, the Schofield Bible is a Bible that has a more pro-Israel stance, and when you do the tracing back, you figure out that the Schofield Bible was funded by the Rothschilds. Okay, so
all people, we should all be respecting and honor others. We should not be hating our neighbor. I don't know if that was me. Hating our neighbor, you know what I mean?
I agree.
I guess you can take it to the context of specifically talking about Jews, but I take it in the context of talking about everyone as a people, the entire nation. Because at that time when the Bible was written, there weren't 100 and how many countries, you know what I mean?
Yes and no. I mean, it does. Paul explicitly says that we should bless the Jews, and from it, we should honor the Jews. We're not going to agree on that, but so you say you're Palestinian. That's great.
Yeah, take it from the Bible, dude. Like, this is not a good stance to come from debating Charlie Kirk. Because 9 out of 10 times when he beats these college kids up on scripture, it's because they're just not as familiar as he is, right? Like, religion is, I know some of you guys might say, oh, he's not even a good Christian debater. That's fine. But the point is that he's better than a lot of these kids he talks to.
Do you think Israel has a right to exist?
Of course. Oh, here we go. Yes! Yes! This is what they always say. Does Israel have a right to exist? Let's see how this guy responds.
Okay, then we can agree.
Yeah.
That's a big statement. Do you think that anti-Semitism is real?
Okay, let's address that first one. So when they ask you, right? This is what the Zionists always say. Does Israel have the right to exist, right? This is how you answer this question. Not at the cost of making another group of people not exist, okay? I find it very interesting how they'll sit there and say, does Israel have the right to exist? When Israel's existence is pretty much guaranteed thanks to the United States and all the backers and all the Jewish oligarchs that support the state of Israel. But, right, the existence of the Palestinians is actually what's in question here. They'll sit there and say, does Israel have the right to exist when there's no threat to its existence whatsoever? Okay? Now, the reason why they frame it this way is because they're framing it from the perspective of Israel is a victim, right? Never again. That's why they have to always use that mantra. That's why they have to have that narrative on that certain Cookie Monster event from a certain time. And if you question it, it's illegal in so many different countries. They need to maintain the victim frame in every single situation. So when they ask you a question like, does Israel have the right to exist, right? What they're not saying is Israel will always exist because of its ability to garner support from the United States, okay? And they have nuclear weapons. So they're not going anywhere. But their existence directly affects the existence of another group of people. And quite frankly, you can make the argument that they're trying to rid them of existence. And that's where they fuck up all the time. When they ask this question, it's almost a trick question. So the way to answer that is, you do not have the right to exist while simultaneously destroying someone else's ability to exist. Because that's what they're doing. Anyway, let's keep going.
Of course.
Okay, great. Then I really don't have much to disagree with you on. Because the major issue is, does Israel have a rightful right to exist? I guess the question is, what would you consider to be Israel?
Well, how do you feel about the fact that we provided aid to Israel to where they ended up literally leveling Gaza? Do you think our money was in good use to do that?
Well, yes and no. I mean, the first question is, why did Israel do that? It's because Hamas went and killed 1,300 Jews on October 7th.
This is what they always do every single time. Every single Israel apologist always starts this fucking problem off at October 7th. Okay? They always start on October 7th. They don't start from the 1900s when this bullshit started happening. Okay? Or from World War I into World War II. They never start there. They always start at October 7th. And here's the other thing too. What do you say? 1300, I think is the number that Charlie said here. Let's see here.
It's because Hamas went and killed 1,300 Jews on October 7th.
Number one, they did not kill 1,300 people, okay? Let's go actually through the numbers. We know that roughly 300 to 400 of those people that died were IDF. So technically, they're considered enemy combatants. Fair game. Look, it's terrible. That's war. It is what it is. Then we know 200 plus were taken as hostages, right? Then we know that the Hannibal Directive was activated on that day. Okay? Yoav Gallant confirmed this. And as a matter of fact, since I know this is probably going to go ahead and get clipped, let me go ahead and show you guys, because you guys know that I'm not fucking capping. Okay? Because people think, oh, that's not true. This is all a lie. Okay, hear from the fucking guy himself.
Modern day.
Hear from this guy himself. Was the order given to use Hannibal Directive? I think tactically in some places it was. In other places it was not, and that is a problem. I mean, how much more proof do I fucking need? For those that are unaware, the Hannibal Directive is a military tactic utilized by the IDF to basically kill their own civilians in times where Israeli might be taken hostage. And the reason for this is to avoid hostage negotiations. The Israelis are very well aware that these Palestinian militia groups will come into Israel, kidnap Israelis, and use them to negotiate hostage deals. And what ends up happening a lot of the times is the Israelis end up giving, hundreds of Palestinians in exchange for, one Israeli. There was a big case with a guy named Galit Shalat, if I'm not mistaken, which I'll show you guys real quick. Because, again, I like to, Galit Shalat or something like that, or Shalit, something like that. Let me see here. Yeah, Gilad Shalit. This guy right here, okay? Basically, he was an IDF guy, captured on June 25th, 2006, captured by Palestinian militants in a cross-border raid. And what they ended up doing was they exchanged, let's see here, I think it was like 1,000, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, in exchange, 1,027 Palestinian prisoners. Now, that is a big L for Israel. So guess what? They're like, you know what? This is kind of not fair. So if we get in a situation like this, it might be just better for us diplomatically to just kind of kill our own hostages and civilians because, yeah. So, guys, this is the dark secrets of Israel that they will not tell you about. So when Charlie says, oh, they killed 1,300 Israelis, what he's not telling you is we got it from fucking Yoav Gallant, the guy that was in charge of the IDF at the time, okay, saying that we implemented the Hannibal Directive on that day to avoid having Israelis be kidnapped, because they know when Israelis get kidnapped, it creates political pressure. When it creates political pressure, creates problems. When it creates problems, it puts them in a very bad negotiating position like they are in now, okay? So now that we've established that, we know that a lot of people that died from the music festival, they were basically burned and incinerated in their vehicles, okay? Now, guess what? Hamas does not have the military capability to do the damage that was done on October 7th on the music festival. And I'll show you what I mean by this. See if we can get the aftermath here. Now you guys can see, right? This was from the music festival. Look at that damage. See these cars burned up and shit like that? Hamas does not have this military capability. You know who does? The IDF does. Apache helicopters with Hellfire missiles. That's who has that capability, guys. So guess what ended up happening with a lot of these festival goers? They were killed by the IDF. Don't believe me? There's no fucking cap in my raps, chat. And this is the stuff that they don't show you guys in the American media like that. Look, I gotta go to fucking like alternative sources. CNN, Fox, they don't show this shit. Look at that. Bam. Blew that shit up. Look at all those fucking shots. They were melting everybody, chat. Okay? Now you're probably wondering, Myron, why are you showing us all this? I'm showing this to you guys because when Charlie says
Hamas went and killed 1,300 Jews on October.
Not true. The IDF killed a significant amount of those people. It was not just Hamas. Now, with that said, I want to be very clear here. I'm against violence, all violence, okay? But the Israeli government framed it as if they did not kill their own people. When I'm showing you guys footage from the IDF and from their commander, Yoav Gallant, that they were implementing the Hannibal Directive on that day. So we don't know. To this day, to this day, right now, the IDF, nobody knows how many Israelis were actually killed by Hamas versus how many Israelis were killed by the IDF. And remember, about 400 of the people that were killed were IDF. They were enemy combatants. So that leaves us about 800 or so, right, that were killed. We still don't know how many were killed by the IDF versus how many killed were by Hamas. Obviously, it was a horrible day. The loss of any innocent life is awful. You're not going to catch me sitting here saying, oh yeah, I get excited when the IDF loses soldiers. I don't even like it when IDF soldiers get killed, honestly. As much as people might say, Myron, you're soft for saying that. But I think all life is precious. But the difference is this. The Israelis don't think like that. They look at the Palestinians as second-class citizens. They look at them as their lives that don't matter. They look at them as, we're going to go ahead and kill them. Dude, they literally call them animals. Yoav Gallant called them animals. Once again, let me show you guys proof. I have ordered a complete siege on Gaza. No electricity. No food. No fuel. No water. Everything is closed. We are fighting human animals. I can back up everything I fucking say. That's the difference. I got the truth on my side, and the Israelis don't like that. That's why they try to fucking get me canceled all the time. ADL, all these fucking loser-ass organizations. I fucking tell the truth about this. I'm not just telling y'all, oh, no, it's not true. 1,300. No, I'm showing you guys the fucking proof. Okay? This is the commander of the IDF right here. Right after October 7th saying this. We are fighting human animals, and we act accordingly. Now tell me who values human life.
October 7th, unprompted, unprovoked, in the most horrendous...
Okay, unprompted, unprovoked, that's not true. That's not true. We know, number one, the Abraham Accords were in place. The Abraham Accords would have ended up where the Gulf states would have acknowledged Israel, recognized it as a state, and that would have put the Palestinian question unanswered, right? Number two, they were taking land in the West Bank. Constantly. They're always fighting in the West Bank and illegally expanding their settlements as international against international law. The entire international community condemns the settlements in the West Bank. They're illegal. They are absolutely illegal. Okay? They're literally bulldozing Palestinian homes to make for new settlements. Illegally doing this, by the way. Okay? Expanding. All right? They're constantly harassing Palestinians. They have Gazans stuck in like an open air prison. They can't do anything. Okay? Every couple of years, they do something called cutting the grass. Okay? Where they do periodic airstrikes and or military operations where they kill a bunch of innocent people while they're going ahead and trying to take out Hamas militants. Right? So for Charlie to say unprovoked is ludicrous. This has been going on for damn near 100 years. Okay? The Israelis have been illegally occupying land that isn't theirs for decades. All right?
This way imaginable. And so Israel was responding in a way that they would respond. Hamas invited that. And I guess...
Oh, yeah, and they also want to take down the Al-Aqsa Mosque and knock it down to build their temple. Forgot about that, too.
Welcome, punch!
The question I would have as a Christian, do you think that it's better for Christianity to have Israel controlled by Jews or Israel controlled by Muslims? What's better for Christianity?
Okay, so
by Muslims. And I'll tell you why. The Ottoman Empire successfully had Christians and Jews living in peace. And the reason why, again, I'm not trying to sit here and be like some Islam apologist, but I am telling you guys that there's something called a tax. I forget the word in Arabic, jizya or something like that, where if you're a Muslim or you're a Jew, you can live in an Islamic society, but you have to pay a tax. But you don't have to serve in the military. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff, and they ensure your protection. Under the Ottoman Empire, Christians and Jews lived under peace for a very long time. As a matter of fact, when the Jews were kicked out of Spain in 1492, where did they go? They lived with the Muslims in the Ottoman Empire. Okay? Even Rabbi Shmuley admits this, that the Muslims gave them a safe haven after they were expelled by the Christians. Okay? Even Rabbi Shmuley admits this. So, the reality is, okay, if you were to have a place, he's saying, I think the question is, what's better for Christianity? I would say Christians are safer under Muslim rule than they are under Jewish rule, because Jews hate Jesus. It is the fucking truth. They look at him as a sorcerer. In their Talmud, they say that he's burning in human excrement. They killed him. I mean, they might say that's anti-Semitic. They killed him, right? If you go to a Muslim country and you insult Jesus, they will attack you. They might kill you, actually, matter of fact. Insulting Jesus is the same as insulting the Prophet Muhammad, all right? Matter of fact, they actually respect Jesus more in Muslim countries than they do in like Christian countries. In America, they make fun of Jesus, unfortunately. They make fun of him. They put him in cartoons and all this other shit. They don't do that in Muslim countries. They look at Jesus as a prophet. He's revered. So I would argue that Christians are far safer in a Muslim country than in a Jewish-led country. By far. Jews hate Jesus. They killed him. They looked at him as a sorcerer. They looked at Mary as a whore. Okay? Now, again, I don't like to engage with the religious stuff like this, but I do think it's important for the context of this debate right here with this particular question. But yes, we have established fact on this that Christians are safer under Muslim rule than under Jewish rule because Jews don't respect Jesus whatsoever versus Muslims do.
So I have a personal opinion on what I think would be more accurate. From my own personal experience, I've seen Muslims be more receptive to the Christian faith than Jews. That's
Absolutely. It's not even from his experience. This is the fucking truth. Bro, guys, when the Jews came to the United States and got checked in at Ellis Island, I think it is, and they were coming in, they refused to use the cross. If you go to to Israel, right, and you go to school there, right, when they do addition, they do not use the cross, guys. They use like a circle. That's where a certain slur comes from, by the way. So, saying they dislike Jesus is an understatement, bro. He is literally the devil to them.
My own personal experience.
Did you know that over 85% of grass-fed beef...
What the fuck? Someone says Myron was Muslim. No, I still am. I'm just not religious. And I try to keep things non-religious, but they're obviously talking about religion here, so.
I have a personal opinion on what I think would be more accurate. From my own personal experience, I've seen Muslims be more receptive to the Christian faith than Jews. That's my own personal experience.
It's the truth. That's not even your own personal experience. It's just the simple truth. Jews don't acknowledge Jesus. Watch Ben Shapiro talk about Jesus. He completely avoids the topic.
But on top of that, there are not only in Israel, there are thousands of churches all throughout the Middle East and Muslim-controlled countries that have been preserved.
Yep.
For thousands of years now that get funding. So I don't think it's an argument on whether who would do it better because they've both.
It's not an argument whatsoever. The Christians are far safer in a Muslim-led country than it would be in a Jewish-led country. This is just very simple. It's very simple because both parties respect Jesus. Jews do not respect Jesus. They don't even want to put a cross up, dude. Okay? They spit on Christians.
Been doing it for thousands of years now.
Yeah, I mean, man, you can't walk the streets of Tehran or Riyadh and say Jesus is Lord. You can say that in Riyadh.
Yeah.
You could say Jesus is Lord.
Yes.
You could say Jesus is a prophet.
I've seen it personally.
They have evangelical churches in Riyadh. That's interesting.
But you can say that.
Part
of my family.
I'll get to you next.
So part of my family's recent family that's married in is from.
Bro picked the one of the most religious sites that Christians aren't allowed to. And says that, like, come on, Charlie, come on, man, cherry picking the one area where it might be problematic. Even this guy's saying no, you can't say it, which I do think you probably could say it too. I don't think they're gonna fucking attack you for being a Christian in this places. But of course, Charlie's saying this.
Tehran, they're Iranian, and they've been Christian their entire life.
Shia Muslim.
No, they are Christian. They are Armenian.
Oh, okay.
And they've lived in Tehran their entire life. There's a big community of them. They have churches that they go every single Sunday. They are proud of who they are. They wear their crosses out.
There's a bunch of Christians in Lebanon as well. Lots of them. Oh, we're on the front page of Rumble, bro. Shout out to us. Let's go, baby. We cooking.
Problem. But let's go talk about let's talk about Egypt, Syria, Jordan. They have thousands of churches there. They have big Christian faith over there, but they are Muslim majority countries and run by Muslims, and the churches are protected.
I mean, look, I don't want to. You think the Coptic Christians have been treated well the last 10 years? I mean, come on, man. I mean, there was a
See, this is the problem. He's sticking on this Christian topic, and it doesn't allow for the bigger geopolitical discussion about how Israel is a problematic country.
Mass persecution of Christians.
It's an apartheid ethno-state, and they can't get into that conversation because they're stuck on Christianity.
Over the last decade, they're leaving these countries. A lot of their heads are being cut off. I mean, it's terrible.
I agree. There's extremist Muslims.
Yes, but I would. The best argument you could make is that Jesus is revered in Islam as a prophet, but not the prophet.
Sure.
Right. That's the best argument you could make. But in practice,
that's a very important argument, though. That's a very important argument to make. But at least because the Jews don't even acknowledge him as a prophet, they don't acknowledge him as anything. They look at him as like literally filth.
Islam is not compatible with open air Christianity. They want you to kind of, at best, stay in your corner. At the very least, there is mass persecution. We're just going to disagree on the role of Israel. I think that the Jews should have a right to their own homeland. Mm-hmm. And I think that...
Yeah, but here's the thing. Having the right to their homeland, right, while simultaneously kicking other people out of their homeland is ridiculous. I mean, let's be honest here. Benjamin Netanyahu is not a Semite whatsoever. He's Polish, okay? Like, if you look at the people in the Israeli government at the top levels, they're all Eastern European. None of them have ties to the land of Israel whatsoever. They're Ashkenazi Jews, a.k.a. Europeans, okay? So this homeland that you claim is stolen land. That doesn't belong to them, okay? Just it's simply put, it's just a fact. Someone said he's not Polish. Yeah, you're a fucking retard, bad guy. But Netanyahu's not Polish? Okay, retard, let me show you. Holy shit, people are stupid. His real last name is Milikowski, dumbass. So, was raised in West Jerusalem, blah, blah, blah. Let's see here. There we go. And his father, Warsaw-born Benzion Netanyahu Milikowski, was a historian specialized in Jewish blah, blah. And Milikowski is a Polish last name. There you go. Hold on. Okay, so let's see here. Tel Aviv, Benzion Netanyahu, and his mother was born in Tikva, then an Ottoman Empire, Palestine, now Israel, through all the pioneers were born in the Russian Empire, now Belarus, Lithuania, and Poland. His mother's parents immigrated to Minneapolis, United States. He related to boom. So there you go. Russia, Poland, whatever. It doesn't matter. Eastern European is the point. But yes, he is of Polish descent, and Malachowski is a Polish last name.
I think that Muslims are able to have 40 Muslim majority countries. Why can't the Jews have one?
No, I'm not disagreeing.
No,
with
then we agree on that. Then
But my point is, though, why is America giving?
Yeah, they have one, but at the cost of displacing another. That's the problem, Charlie. No one is against Jews having a homeland. Look, I think they should have a homeland too. I genuinely do think they should have a homeland. The problem is that they're having their homeland at the cost of destroying another people and taking their homeland. That's the problem, Charlie.
So much.
When they say, does Israel have a right to exist? That's a trick question, right? Does Israel have a right to defend itself? That's another trick question.
Pouring aid to Israel when we have so many problems in our own country first. It's the same argument on why we shouldn't be sending $300 billion to Ukraine. Why are we funding another war?
Well, part of it is that we do get a lot in return from weapons, technology benefits, but again, I believe we have a moral obligation to be able to protect the cradle of civilization and the place.
And not to mention, the Israelis are killing a bunch of Christian Palestinians too. They've blown up a bunch of churches, bro. They've literally blown up a bunch of churches, man. So, bro, crazy.
Where our Lord and Savior walked on water and rose from the dead and proves where the Bible is true.
They don't believe that though, Charlie. They don't believe that. They think that Jesus was a sorcerer, an evil one at that.
Israel is not like every other nation. It's not like just sending money to Chad or to Senegal. There's something special about Israel, and I think we have a moral commitment to that land. You can disagree
you know
with
who else said that? Oh man, this fucking argument. Man, it's like I know their talking points before they even have them.
You make the observation in your book, and you say that you have said it many times when you were president of the
So this was 1992. Richard Nixon on Nightline with Ted Koppel. January 7, 1992. Now they're going to talk about Israel. He's going to ask some tough questions here.
United States that no president is ever going to desert Israel, right?
Correct. I put it more bluntly. I said, as I told congressional leaders during the 1973 Yom Kippur War, no American president will let Israel go down the tube.
Because why? Because the most affluent businessmen, the most affluent donors, the biggest companies, all run by what? That's why no American politician or American president will let Israel fall. Because those are the guys paying the fucking bills and putting them in office. That's why.
Democrat or Republican, it's not an issue.
That is...
And yes, they control both sides.
Is stated fairly categorically, and yet in your book you make it clear at the same time that Israel...
We got 10,000 plus of you guys watching on stream, baby. Like the video, guys. Let's go.
Israel really is not of any enormous strategic value to the United States.
He admits it, that it is not of any strategic value to the United States. Let's see the answer that Nixon gives, because he's asking the real questions. Israel is not of any real strategic value. Nixon admitted this in his book. Let's see how he answers it.
United States anymore.
That's correct.
So why then would the United States continue to burden itself with huge loans, in some cases outright grants, to the Israelis, jeopardize possibly young American fighting men, when there is no strategic value involved, or little?
Bro asking the real questions.
Because the United States is concerned by more than strategic values.
Come on, Richard. Come on, man.
That's maybe a weakness, but it's the way we are. And there are moral issues involved here. We don't have an alliance with Israel, as you know. They're not an ally.
Moral issues? So why are we backing out from our moral support of Ukraine? Huh? Why do we back out of our moral support of the Kurds whenever they're fighting our enemies? When it comes to morality? No, bro, it's bullshit. It's that we don't have Kurdish backers in the United States that run a fucking super PAC that pay our politicians. That's why. We don't have a legion of Ukrainians that chill in the fucking White House and chill in DC and give billions of dollars to American politicians. That's why. It's not about morality. It's about the fucking money. Who's paying these politicians' bills? I'll tell you. The fucking Zionists, man. But he's dressing it up as, oh, morality. Morality. We have a moral obligation to support Israel. Okay, bro.
Ally of the United States in the technical sense. But we have a bond to Israel that's much stronger. It's a moral commitment. A moral commitment because of what happened during the Holocaust, and a moral commitment because it is a democracy, the only democracy in that area. And under the circumstances, that is why American presidents and the American people in the future will support all out the survival of Israel if it's attacked.
You've always been a very tough, pragmatic man. And I just wonder if you were the president of Israel and you heard Richard Nixon talking that way, or for that matter, heard any sitting American president talk that way, and say, but...
Guys, sorry that the audio is weird like that. This is from the 90s, man.
There's really no strategic value anymore. How much faith would you place in that kind of a moral commitment if push really came to shove?
If I were the president of Israel, I put a great deal of faith in it because of the track record of the United States, and also because
No, they don't put a great amount of faith in it, Richie, because they stole our nuclear weapons. The same nuclear weapons, actually, that they blackmailed you with in the Yom Kippur War and forced your hand to go to war with.
You would know that that is the way the American people are.
They actually don't trust us. That's why they steal our technology and stole our fucking uranium and were involved in the assassination of a fucking U.S. president. So, no, they don't trust us whatsoever, actually. That's why they steal our technology all the time and have their fucking lobbyists pressure our politicians. So much so that even our national security advisor, Mike Waltz, got fired for pressuring Trump to go to war with Iran. That's how much power they got, right? And it's funny because this happened in 1992. And what, 30 plus years later, same bullshit going on.
There is no doubt whatever of our commitment to Israel.
So, interesting that Charlie's using the same exact talking point that Nixon gave years ago.
There's something special about Israel, and I think we have a moral commitment to that land. You could disagree.
Deja vu chat or what?
Welcome, punch!
Took it right from fucking Nixon's mouth, man. Pause.
Agree with that. I'm not going to apologize for everything that the government did. There's no way I would ever do that. At the same time, though, have you ever been to Israel proper?
Yes.
You have?
Yes. Been to Jordan, Lebanon, Egypt.
And you've been to Jerusalem and all that?
Yes.
Does it do anything to you as a Christian?
Of course.
It's
awesome
beautiful, right?
It's amazing being there. I wish you could go back every day.
As me as a Christian, do you think it would be safe for me to walk the streets of Bethlehem without armed guards?
Yes. My own family was thrown to the. Now, I don't want to make a personal argument, but my own family was thrown to the ground by Israeli guards because they were wearing a cross out.
Yeah.
That's been my own personal experience.
That is unacceptable.
It's not.
Charlie, they don't give you a hard time because you are literally famous and you are one of the biggest Israel backers in the United States by far. So yes, when you go to Israel, they roll out the red carpet for you because you are one of the biggest faces of, how do I say this, Christians supporting Israel in the United States. So yes, of course they're going to roll out the red carpet for you because guys like you push out the propaganda that we need to cherish Israel. So of course they're going to roll out the red carpet for you. But for anybody else, you wore a cross, hey man, they're going to look at you like, get the fuck out of here, bro.
Well, I said it's I believe it to be unacceptable. So we want to try to de-radicalize both sides. At least here's been my experience, is that the Israeli community has been very welcoming of us as Christians and our faith.
Of you, Charlie. Of you.
The homeland. I have not felt that kind of reciprocity from the Islamic world. And I'll finally say this. There is a disturbing trend with Islam across the West where they are antagonistic towards Christianity, that they are taking over a lot of areas that used to be dominantly Christian. I feel a lot safer with Israelis than I do with most Arab Muslims. Thank you.
Yeah, and that's because you are damn near Israel apologists at this point, man. That is why. That is why they treat you so well. But yeah, so as you guys can see here, lots of, typical Zionist propaganda talking points that Charlie was spewing here while debating this guy. And the mistake, hey, nice guy, right? But the mistake that he made was he came from the frame of Christianity and stuck there, and Charlie kind of just beat him up on that because they're both Christian, so he was kind of more empathizing with them on the Christian side of like, oh, we're supposed to support and protect Israel, all this other bullshit. But what he should have done was like, yo, the state of Israel is XYZ, this is the problems, whatever, right? So, and then like, he like when he said, oh, October 7th, like, bro, you got to stop. When the Zionists say October 7th, you got to stop it right then and there. You got to say, nope, we're not going to even start at October 7th. We got to go ahead and go backwards. Because if you're going to go ahead and say, oh, they attacked them on October 7th. Well, why did they attack them on October 7th? Why? Why? Then that's when we can have the real conversation, right? So, all right. Next topic, we're going to go ahead and get into this Jordan Peterson versus 20 Atheists. Now, as you guys know, I am not a religious debater, but you do see a lot of interesting discussions here between these, between Jordan and some of these individuals here. And, you know, it kind of pains me to watch this because, you know, Jordan Peterson is someone that I had an enormous amount of respect for. You look at Jordan Peterson like 2016, 2017, the guy was fucking iconic. You couldn't stop the dude. The guy was literally like one of the few conservatives that had the academic background and the vernacular and the skill set to be able to get in the arena and debate a lot of these liberals, because let's be honest here, liberals tend to be far more educated than conservatives. So to have someone that comes from the academic world and be able to play the game against these liberals that, you know, are obviously, you know, educated, come from prestigious universities, etc., it was huge. And that is why he blew up. Ben Shapiro also is blowing up at this time. Ben Shapiro, who is a Harvard grad, right? I think he did his undergrad at I think he got his master's, I think, at Harvard, if I'm not mistaken. He did his undergrad at UCLA, if I'm not mistaken. But regardless, the point is that also Ben Shapiro blew up as being a conservative that comes from the academic world, which is typically, you know, dominated by liberals and debating college students, right? So this was huge for pushing the conservative movement in 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, etc. And another reason why it's so big is because, you know, in this era, Donald Trump was running. There was a shift in the conservative movement. And it used to be conservatives tended to be older white men, right? So what these guys were able to do was kind of recruit and bring in a lot of these young men that didn't really have a banner to fly under, a flag to fly under, because the problem is that in the progressive world, right? The problem with the progressive world is they might you know, cite issues that men deal with a little bit, but like they're not very welcoming to men. So this is why if you look at young people now, especially young voters, especially men, they tend to lean right. Why? Because on the right, it's far more favorable to masculinity. It's far more favorable to men being men. And this is why the Democrats lost in the last election, to be honest with you. The men turned out and fucking voted, which is good. And the only people that you have really that are still like liberals or whatever, or progressives, are people like Hassan and Kyle Kulinski, who quite frankly, like, are not cool. Like, they're just not, they're kind of, you know what I mean? Like, they're just not interesting. And they're so fucking woke, and they're more concerned with like not being racist, bro, or not being a bigot, bro, that they just don't identify or don't align with a lot of young men in America. Let's just be honest here. Like, it is what it is. Like, if you take the biggest left-wing commentators, they're pussies. Harry Sisson, Dean Withers, Hassan Piker, Kyle Kulinski, who's the other fucking guy? God damn it. Damn it. He's a Jewish guy. I can't remember his fucking name. Pac-Man? Harry, something Pac-Man? Someone's going to help me here. Pac-Man, Destiny. Like, these guys simply don't align with a lot of young men. They just don't, bro. Like, they just don't. So, but I'll tell you who aligns with them. Guys like me, guys like Andrew Tate, guys like Nick Fuentes, guys like Sneeko, guys like, you know, I'm thinking on the young side, you know, as far as like drawing in like this newer audience of young guys that are swinging more right. So Jordan Peterson represented, like my era, like guys in their 20s that were like looking for someone that had a conservative worldview that opposed feminism. Like, Jordan Peterson is more like guys like my age group, right? Young guys, like, they might be aware of him or whatever, but when Jordan Peterson was popping off 10 years ago, whatever, these dudes were like fucking kids, so they probably don't know. So that's what it really is. But yeah, the left honestly doesn't have anyone cool. That's the problem. And no one really cool for young men to look up to or aspire to be, because if you look at all the top left-wing commentators like they don't go to the gym, they're pussies, they're weird, they're gay, they look like women, they're extremely effeminate, right? Like, it's just not cool. So people don't want to be like that, right? Guys don't want to be like that. Like, men tend to operate on meritocracy, man. So real quick, we're going to talk about something here before we get into this. So guys, real quick, haven't tried 1775 coffee. Now's your shot. The 1775 starter kit just dropped, only 1,000 units. You're getting the bold, dark roast that hits harder than a CNN fact check, the smooth medium roast, and the Vitality mushroom coffee for clean energy and laser focus, no crash. All single origin, small batch, toxin-free, and mold-free. Plus, you're also getting a gold spoon clip because freedom isn't scooped with plastic. A frother strong enough to stir up your coffee and your mother-in-law's political opinions, and a black 1775 tumbler that says, I don't take life advice or caffeine from a woke sea witch. $170 worth of coffee and gear, yours for $99. This is for the one who's been watching 1775 blow up on Rumble, wondering if it's actually worth it. Spoiler, it is. Go to 1775coffee.com/studio and grab your starter kit before they're gone. Bold beans, clean fuel, and a morning routine that stands for something just like Rumble does. Start your day with coffee that actually backs what you believe, man. So go check them out, guys. 1775 Coffee, as you guys know, helps keep us independent and Rumble independent. So go check them out, man. So fuck the haters. Freedom of speech is fueled by good caffeine, aka 1775 Coffee, man. Go check them out. All right, let's go ahead and watch this thing real quick. And we got Fresh Fit after.
Study both this issue formally. You're a Christian.
We'll see what happens with Jubilee if they bring me back. I don't know if I'm too offensive for them or whatever. Speaking of which, by the way, guys, we got a debate coming up Friday. It's going to be fucking lit. I'm going to set up a table. White women deserve less. Let's see what happens. It's going to be a good time.
You say that. I haven't claimed that.
Oh, what is this? Is this Christians versus atheists?
Don't be a smartass.
Either you're a Christian or you're not. Which one is it?
You're really quite something, you are.
Aren't I? But you're really quite nothing. Right? You're not a...
Oh, shit.
Welcome, punch!
Oh, man. I'm shocked that he actually agreed to this, chat. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'm actually surprised he agreed to this debate to do this shit. So, we'll see. Yeah. Also, guys, do me a favor. Like the video on YouTube. And let's get going.
Okay, I'm done with him. Hello there. I'm Dr. Jordan Peterson. I'm a clinical psychologist, a professor emeritus at the University of Toronto, an author.
Oh, man. They moved Dr. Disrespect to front page, chat. Feels bad, man. It's fine. It happens.
Podcaster.
Hey, shout out to Dr. Disrespect being on fucking Rumble, though. That's great. They got me, Elijah Schaefer, Dr. Disrespect, and Viva Frey on the front page of Rumble. Shout out to Rumble, man. As you guys can see, I'll show you guys real quick what it looks like. So here we are. We're number 3, chat. We're number 3. We're going to take over, though, chat. We are going to become one of the biggest political/cultural commentary channels on both YouTube and Rumble. Ninjas. Very soon.
Public speaker, and today I'm surrounded by 25 atheists.
And the thing that really fucked Jordan Peterson up was the fucking addiction to drugs, man. That really fucked him up. So, yeah. Okay, there were 3 things that I would say fucked Jordan Peterson's reputation up. Number 1, his dumbass daughter saying stupid shit all the time and him having to run cover for her. Michaela Peterson. Number 2, or doing stupid shit. Number 2, the drug addiction, right? And leaving the media for like a year and a half to overcome it. And then number 3, support and joining the Daily Wire / Benjamin Netanyahu. Those 3 things absolutely hurt his reputation. Comment below, tell me guys what you guys think. Really, I think those 3 fucked him up. If you guys could think of anything else, type it in the chat. I'd like to see what you guys think. But I think those 3 are the things that fucked him up the most.
My first claim, atheists reject God, but they don't understand what they're rejecting.
Now, this is interesting because Jordan Peterson doesn't really even identify as a Christian. He doesn't identify as anything. So when Jubilee first put this video out, look at the top comment here. The way Jubilee changed the title from 1 Christian versus 20 atheists featuring Jordan Peterson to Jordan Peterson versus 20 atheists after 4 hours is so funny. Yeah, because having him be like a Christian apologist doesn't make sense. They should have put somebody on like a Charlie Kirk or a Matt Walsh or whatever. Like, you know, these are guys, or Michael Knowles, right? So like to put Jordan Peterson as like the Christian apologist, like just doesn't make sense.
Good afternoon, Dr. Peterson.
How you doing?
So this claim here that atheists don't know what they're rejecting. My background is in studying to become a traditional Catholic priest, daily mass, daily rosary, going on long retreats, deep into the magisterium and biblical hermeneutics. Like I was thoroughly in.
All right, I'm gonna warn y'all niggas, this is about to be a yap fest real quick with these two. So we'll let it play out though, so you guys can hear their arguments. But this nigga's about a yap.
It. And it seems like I do know what I'm missing. Is there something that I missed over years of study, both this issue formally and living out religion so deeply?
Well, you obviously feel that you missed something when you were practicing for the priesthood. Your aim was off then. So there's always the possibility that it's still off now.
What was off about my aim in the first place?
I don't know. That might take a long time to figure out. But
then it seems kind of like...
See, Jordan Peterson is best when it comes to like debating feminists. I don't think religion is his thing to debate, but hey, it is what it is. You know, I think there's been a resurgence in young people being interested in religion, given with all the fucking degeneracy that we got going on nowadays. So I could see why Jubilee wanted to do this, but you know, Peterson should have stuck to his strength, man, and stuck with just cooking feminists. I think that's where he really shines if you look at some of his earlier work.
This no true Scotsman type of fallacy in which you're the arbiter of people's aims and how they understand those aims to be. How is it that you can claim that people don't know something that you know about their life despite not having met them?
well, it's obviously a generic claim, just like the atheists claim that there's no God is a generic claim. In your case, it would have to be specified more, and I'm not claiming to understand what was going on in your mind, but my experience with atheists is twofold, is that they have a very reductive notion of what constitutes God, let's say in the Judeo-Christian tradition, and they've often been hurt by someone who was religious or by the religious enterprise or perhaps by God himself, so to speak, and that's left them.
Hey guys, we got only 1,500 likes, but we got 3,400 you ninjas watching on YouTube, bro. Come on, man. Smash that fucking like button, guys. We should be at 3,000 easy, okay? 3,000 easy. Like I said before, all 2025, live at 5, okay? 10K live. And we're always going to be consistent, all right? So let's get this shit going, man. Get the views, get the likes up, smash that like button. It gets recommended in the algorithm. They're fucking shadow banning me. I could already tell because we got lower views than usual. But that's fine. We just stay consistent. That's how YouTube works. They give you, they push you some weeks, other weeks they don't. That's all good. So smash that like button, guys, on YouTube. Let's get to 3,000 likes. And then if you're watching on Rumble, hey, just like it on Rumble as well.
With an animus.
But I think that you have a reductive view of what atheism is. You've defined religion so broadly to include any sort of having aim in life, any sort of cultural archetypes, or having a metaphorical substrate. And atheism to you is a very specific type of like 3 people in the world that are these Raskolnikov type of, they want to get away with a perfect murder. It seems like you have the reductive view of what an atheist is.
Well, let's start with your claim. How do you define the God that you're rejecting? Like, what is God to you? You studied in the church, you found that unsatisfactory. How would you characterize what you rejected?
I think the average Christian believer, when they say that they're Christian and they believe, they mean some sort of God that is all-powerful, all-perfect, is somehow involved in the matters of this world, and that we look to them through wisdom and with the Logos incarnate in Christ. And it also seems like you don't believe in religion in the way that the average Christian says that they believe in religion. And there are as many gods out there as there are believers, because everybody has mutually exclusive and different views of what God is. So it seems
well,
like...
if everybody had mutually exclusive views of what God is, no one could speak to each other. The mere fact of communication presumes a commonality of assumption and definition. And it's certainly not the case that I regard any archetypal manifestation whatsoever as equally religious. So that's not a...
Also, guys, just want to let you guys know, I dropped this video earlier. Shout out to my guy, my editor. This is Former Fed explains all 16 witnesses in Diddy trial. So, guys, if you want to know what the fuck happened in the Diddy trial and you guys want a summary, put this in your watch later thing. Put this in your watch later. I literally go over every single witness in this video. It's a 2-hour-long video, but I explain each witness and what their testimony was. So make sure to, put this in your save later thing and check it out. All 16 witnesses testimony. That's going to be better. I dropped the link in there. I'm going to put summarizes because I think that's better. That's a better title. Summarizes. Former Fed summarizes all 16 witnesses' testimony in Diddy trial. Boom. I think that's way better. Cool. I just edited the title. And I'm going to go and I'm going to put timestamps for you guys as well. But yeah, if you guys want to know about the Diddy trial, maybe you didn't pay attention to it the last week. No problem. I summarize all 16 witnesses that have testified so far right now. Okay, in this video. So go check it out, guys. Now the reason why, and I'll put timestamps in this thing as well. Yo, Jacob or one of my guys, can one of y'all like put timestamps on this bad boy for me? If y'all don't mind. Well, let's get back to Jordan Peterson.
That's not a real claim. Let me give you an example. For example, there's a sub-narrative in the story of Moses where Moses is rewarded with a glimpse of God. Okay, and that's one of the ways that God is characterized in the Old Testament stories.
Yes.
Now, Moses is a faithful servant of God and a good man. At least that's the case within the confines of the story.
One possible interpretation.
It's the case within the confines of the story, obviously. But
Well, not obviously. When we look at the Bible can't precisely say anything because there are so many different exegetical and hermeneutic views of this particular book, and that everybody has agreed everybody has disagreed historically on. It seems like even the most benign detail.
Styles, you got it? All right. Styles, do me that solid, bro. I really appreciate that. I see you in the chat. Styles, try to knock it out as quickly as possible. You just listen to it at like 2x speed, and then you can get through it probably in about 10 minutes, bro. Because I break down each witness by name. So just put each person's name as you summarize it, and that's it, bro. Just do that. You don't got to go into what they talk about or whatever. Just break it down by witness name and who they are. All right? So I appreciate that, Styles. Try to get it done in like the next 10 to 20 minutes because the video just came up, so we want to get those timestamps up immediately.
About a book this big, and it's
shout out to Styles. W Styles in the chat. He's gonna go ahead and give you guys that timestamp for the Diddy video.
Seems like you can only say that the Bible says something if you first presuppose that it's univocal.
So your claim essentially is that Moses in the Old Testament plays the role of a villain or is irrelevant? Because the alternative claim
I'm
is
saying that we
he's
can't
good.
know because we can't talk to those authors.
If you are going to start with the presupposition that there's nothing I can say about any of these stories that you're not going to disagree with from the perspective that there are multiple potential competing claims, then I can't speak with you. So
and we also have a short time here, so I want to get to the core of what you're arguing here, and I'd love if we could.
The core of what I'm arguing is that atheists reject God, but they don't understand what they're rejecting. So I'm trying to give you an example.
I ain't gonna lie, that's kind of that's a fairly nebulous premise that might need a little bit more explanation, but I think he purposely did it that way.
Example of what's being rejected and its complexity. Okay, so God rewards Moses with a glimpse of the divine. So this is a definition of the God that atheists are hypothetically rejecting.
A possible one.
I said I didn't say the. I said
That is possible.
You can already tell Peterson's getting annoyed by these fucking guys.
Well, yes.
Okay. So despite the fact that Moses is a stellar character and he's had a long and difficult life and can withstand a lot of difficulty and travail, God puts him between two cliffs so he can just see a crack of what's in front of him. And when God walks by, he allows him to see his back. Okay, so the implication of that story is that the divine is fundamentally unknowable. It's a pinnacle experience, and that people in their finitude have to be shielded from a comprehensive vision of the basis of reality. Well, that's not the God that's defined in that manner, right? It's not a simple personification. It's not a simple old man in the sky. It's something that in its essence is unknowable and overwhelming.
Now, chat, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Peterson identify as agnostic before? Or an atheist himself? Chat, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I don't want to mischaracterize his position on religion, but if I'm not mistaken, man, I think prior to him joining the Daily Wire, he questions God. He questioned God's existence. So someone in the chat, can you guys let me know? I want to get your guys' take while I wait for that. A perfect 10 out of 10 says, hi, Big Head. You're so hot, Myron. Let's meet in my hotel room in Italy to have some fun. Please come alone. I'll fly you out first class. Her name is Rachel Maxwell. Would you go? No, you absolutely do not go because you're going to get kidnapped by the Mossad. So no. Okay, he was atheist? Okay. He flip-flops a lot. Agnostic, same shit as atheist? Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, he did. He was agnostic. Okay. Okay. I am right? Okay, I just want to make sure. If I'm wrong, you guys waste no time with telling me that I'm wrong. So I have no problem with, correcting myself if I am or not, or asking you guys. Fuck it, Button says, with no horse in this race, but what is with the obsession with either of these places? Also, neither has the right to exist. They can fight for their place. No need to be world police, Marxism edition. Okay, fuck it, Button. The reason why it's a problem, right, and I get that. This is a good question because a lot of people ask me this all the time. Myron, why do people care so much about what's going on in the Middle East? Why do they care so much about Israel, blah, blah, blah? The reason why, my friend, is because what you need to understand is that we are in an interconnected world nowadays, okay? We have globalized. Whether people want to accept it or not, globalization is here. We are an interconnected world where you can send a message now and someone in the United Kingdom will get it instantly. We could talk to people from other countries. We could talk to people from other continents. We could talk to people from all over the place. So the reason why this is important is so that you can understand that what happens in the Middle East does absolutely affect you, okay? Now, when it comes to what's going on, because I get this all the time from people. Oh, well, I don't care about the Middle East. Let them kill each other. Who gives a shit, right? Well, if you care, I'm America first. Well, if you're America first, well, we need to deal with the problem that isn't allowing us to be America first, which is what? We have an Israel first policy. Okay, I'm gonna say that again for you guys. If you truly want to be America first, that means we need to get rid of any blockades or things impeding our ability to become America first. And Israel is basically that blockade. Okay? For a very long time, Israel has pretty much run our foreign policy. Everything that we do in the Middle East is dictated by Israel. Whether it's the organizations that we designate as foreign terrorist organizations, or the wars that we fight, or the money that we send, it's all pretty much run by Israel. Now, the problem here is that Israel does a bunch of bullshit that we don't want them to do a lot of the times, and we still give them money and support. They backstab us and do dumb shit all the time. And the problem with this is that it hurts us because we're not taken seriously diplomatically, internationally. We get into wars where American soldiers are dying. And it just puts us in a very precarious situation. Right now, as we are speaking, we are on the cusp of a potential war with Iran. If we get into war with Iran, you know what's going to happen? Your gas prices are going to go up. For you to sit there and say, I don't care. What's the care with the obsession? I'll tell you this. You're going to start obsessing when your gas prices are $11 a fucking gallon. That's when you're going to start obsessing. And then you're going to come back over here to me and say, oh my God, I didn't know. And I told you so. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say, I fucking told you so. This is what happens when you have this mindset of, I don't care about Israel and Gaza and all this other shit. That is a microcosm of a much bigger problem, my friends. Okay? October 7th in Gaza is what Israel is using to justify a regional conflict in the Middle East that will inevitably get us dragged into it and will raise your price of food, raise your price of gas, raise your cost of living. What people don't talk about often is that the Russia-Ukraine war significantly increased the price of food. Okay? Now, they don't talk about this because they want to sit there and get you to encourage the war. All right? But what they won't tell you is that Ukraine is the breadbasket of Europe. And when Ukraine was invaded by Russia, okay, by our own doing, by the way, because we kept expanding NATO and lying to the Russians, the price of food went up significantly because once Ukraine's ability to produce bread gets constrained, now the other people that are farmers that make bread, oh, we can increase the prices. Fuck it, let's go. They increase the prices, you feel the fucking cost of the supermarket. All right? And guess what else that a lot of people won't talk about? And I've seen very few political commentators talk about this. Iran is the breadbasket of the Middle East. Okay? So if we get into a war with Iran, not only will your fucking gas prices go up, but the food prices are probably going to go up again. Because now, Saudi Arabia, the Gulf states, all these countries that have all that oil, remember that? They don't have food. They don't have the ability to really farm. They don't have an agriculture market. Okay? So what ends up happening is when there's a conflict, it increases the prices of goods, makes a few people wealthy, and then fucks everybody else up because now we have price irregularities. Excuse me. So for all the people that say, I don't care. Well, you are going to care when you feel it at the supermarket. You are going to care when you feel it at the gas pump. You are going to care when interest rates go up. Or when they go down and they print more money and your money doesn't matter for anything anyway. So yeah, you got to care about foreign policy, bro. And this is where so many Americans are stupid. Most Americans are concerned with, oh, the tradies are reading books to our kids. Ah! Right? Like most conservatives are like really, they're concerned with shit that, let's be honest here, it pisses you off, it's enraging, I agree, but let's be honest here. Trans people are like 1% of the population. They're a minority, okay? They're a minority. But guess what? The majority is going to feel it if Iran gets attacked by Israel and then they launch fucking strikes into Saudi Arabia or they launch strikes into fucking Qatar or Kuwait or Oman or any of these other Gulf state countries that we're allies with and they destroy their fucking oil fields. Then you're going to feel it. You won't care so much about trannies reading books to your fucking kids. You're going to care more about the fact that you can't fucking afford gas to put into your fucking F-150. Got to go drive to work. Can't afford to put gas in my F-150. Then you're going to be like, oh, shit. So again, bro, I get it. I know some of you guys say, oh, I don't got a horse in this race. I don't care. What's the obsession? The obsession is we live in a globalized world and we are in a potential situation where we can get into a war with a country that has a capable military that will kill American soldiers, that will increase the price of gas, inevitably, because that's how they're going to win. They're not going to win the war, but they're going to absolutely make us pay the price for engaging in the war. And this is why Trump does not want to go to war with Iran, but Israel's trying to do it anyway. They're trying to destroy our diplomacy. He just had a phone call with Netanyahu today, an angry phone call. Trump and Netanyahu, just literally hot out the press news. Shout out to my guy Dominic, he reported this. Trump wants to try to make peace, but Netanyahu wants to attack them. If Netanyahu attacks them, be prepared, bro. The cost of goods are going to go up, and Israel doesn't give a fuck. So that's why you need to care. Anyway, let's get back to it.
And that isn't, in my experience.
Guys, like the fucking video, man. I did a whole video, by the way. If you care, fucking button. I had this video. I will show it to you real quick because I think it's important. Oh, I forgot. I also got this Charlie versus Oxford. I might do this tomorrow for you guys. You go to my channel, right? And I literally did a video on this. You go, I got a clip on it. Clips, right? You go back. Let's see, where is it? I did it with a map. Hold on. Hold on. Bear with me, chat. I did it with a map. I'm trying to find it. Is this it? I don't think this is it. No. Okay, this is where I just explain it, but I have another one where I actually show them Iran to basically stop their nuclear program. And it all comes back to nukes, by the way, FYI, if you guys are wondering. Yep, it's all fucking nukes. It always has to do with nukes. All right, I'll find it on the side here for you guys. What the fuck? Okay.
The God that's defined by atheists who are attempting to undermine the story. I mean, it's the same claim, for example, that you're a finite creature and that you face something that in the final analysis is unknowable, and that you have to establish a relationship with it regardless of your inability to perceive or even withstand perceiving the whole. Okay, is there a problem with that?
I mean, the problem is that when we look at, famously, when you've been asked, do you believe in God? The question becomes, what do we mean by God? And in the Bible, it's not even clear the biblical authors know what God is, because Yahweh has historically emerged from an early storm god, a deity that doesn't exhaust the category of deity, and that has changed over the Old Testament. Does God have physicality? Does God not have physicality? It seems like, yes, if you define religion to mean anybody that has an aim, anybody that looks at the unknown, anybody who wants to go from chaos to order is inherently religious, then yes. But also in the same way, I could define atheist as somebody who doesn't dogmatically believe in a religion, or somebody who doesn't regularly attend religious services or belong to a denomination. To help especially the audience kind of like boil this down, there was a lot of words there. That the central claim is that we exist somewhere between the finite and the infinite.
A central claim.
A central claim is that we exist somewhere between the finite and the infinite.
No,
Is that-
I said that we were finite and we had to establish a relationship with the infinite.
Yeah, then in that case, then we're all religious, but then I can do the same thing and define one particular element of atheism. It seems like we both have a reductive view of what the other side looks like, to the point where a conversation seems incoherent, and not just incoherent, but not in the way that the average Christian understands Christianity to be.
Do you have a
Okay,
problem
let's
with...
pause there. Sorry, you've been voted out by
Awesome.
the majority.
Hey, how's it going?
How
Nice to meet you.
doing? Nice to meet you,
David.
too. David, good to see you.
Tell me everything that you know about the Polynesian deity Lono, L-O-N-O.
This guy's a weirdo.
I don't know anything about the Polynesian.
But this is an interesting way to frame the debate in the beginning.
Deity Lono.
So you're rejecting something without knowledge of what you're rejecting.
I'm not rejecting it. No more than I'm rejecting
believe in
anything that
Lono?
I don't know anything about.
Do you believe in Lono?
I
Do you
fail to
believe
see
that
the
he is a
relevance of
deity
that.
that exists in the world, exists in the universe, that exists in the existence of everything? Do you believe that Lono
I'll
is
answer
a
that
being?
question once you answer my question, which is, do I reject everything that I'm ignorant of? Because that's your presupposition that undergirds your argument, and unless you can prove that that's valid, then there's no point.
My question is quite simple.
Yeah, but that doesn't
Do
mean
you
it's
believe-
formulated accurately.
Do you believe that Lono exists? Yes or no?
I'm not going to answer that question for the reasons I just described. You already insisted that if I reject something, that if I'm ignorant of something, I reject it. Do you think that everyone in the world has to know everything simultaneously for that to be valid and true?
I think in order for your
Answer that
argument
question.
to be true, in order for it to be true that we atheists don't understand what we're rejecting, then you need to also apply that to yourself and to Christians and to Muslims and to any other person.
Real quick, I found the video. Sorry, guys, it took a while. It's called Israel Wants to Drag Us into War with Iran. Here's why. And I literally go over the map of what the fuck would happen in a doomsday scenario where we went to war. And I go over, you know, step by step what would happen in here. Timestamps are there as well. Here's the video for you guys. Okay. Here you go, ninjas. There you go.
On this earth, where if you don't understand what you're rejecting the belief in, then you can't reject the belief in it. That's the implication of your
I didn't
claim.
say that I rejected the belief in Lona. I said I didn't know who Lono was. I didn't say anything about rejecting.
That's because I've asked you several times and you haven't. But let me get to my even greater point. You're saying atheists don't understand what religion is or what God is in order to be able to reject it fully or completely. We have someone over here who studied it in their own way. I've studied religion. I have a degree in religious studies, specialty in Christianity and Mediterranean traditions. And further than that, beyond me, Pew Research studies suggest that atheists and agnostics actually know more about religion and about religious stories, the foundational principles, than believers.
That's because they're more religious than they think they are.
Okay. You can...
They're concerned with deep matters, and one of the defining characteristics of someone who's oriented in a religious direction is that they're concerned with deep matters.
Okay.
In fact, it's virtually definitional.
Right, but they also have to identify with a religious tradition and accept the foundational stories that go along
Well,
with
that would mean more that they're sectarian than that they're religious. And most people, for example, in the United States, deny that they're religious but accept that they're spiritual.
Let's pause there.
Yeah, that's a very, when people say that I'm spiritual, I think that's so fucking weird and a fucking strange cop out. I'm spiritual. It's fucking fake and gay. You have to go and watch the Logan Paul video. His passiveness to his wife, young guys will see and accept, tolerate disrespect from their girl. Maybe we'll break it down tomorrow, actually. You know what? We could cover it on Fresh Fit tomorrow, because tomorrow, no, wait, tomorrow's Tuesday. Maybe for Wednesday. I understand the ways we can be screwed, and I'm 100% for telling Israel to fuck off and sink their own ships, but I'm not going to stand up for either of them. Also, my cars are German and Italian. All right, well, you're going to have to deal with, you think it's going to be cheaper to fucking ship those cars here, bro? So, yeah, fucking bun. You gotta wake up, bro. You gotta wake up, dude. You gotta wake up, because being, not taking a stance is a part of the problem too. And quite frankly, that's why so many people have been, that's why we're in the situation we're in. That's why we're in the situation we're in. So you gotta wake up, bro. You got your fucking head in the sand, got your head in the ass. Like, if you don't see that this is a fucking problem we're gonna get dragged into war, it is gonna affect you. The Iraq war affected all of us, and a lot of people didn't realize until 20 years later that the Iraq war was for Israel. So, you gotta wake up, bro. Mr. Dink says, Myron, love your show. Off topic, but I want to get your take on the Idaho murders case. Do you think Kohlberger is cooked? Yeah, he's pretty cooked. I ain't gonna lie. I'll probably do a part 2 to that case, or I'll probably cover parts of the trial, to be honest with y'all as well. Seems like you guys really like it when I fly out and cover these trials in person. So, let's see here. Aaron says, oh no, it's not $5. You gotta $5 and up, niggas.
And voted out by the majority.
I'll be right back, niggas.
Aha! Hi, nice to meet you.
How are you doing?
Good, how
What's
are you?
your name?
I'm Greg, nice to meet you.
Greg.
Okay, so I feel like you're getting at this idea of polysemy, where we have multiple related meanings for a word, right? Like, for example, a famous painting can be emotionally moving in that it changes my emotional state. And when I was on the highway coming here to the studio, I was physically moving. I was changing my position. If I said, I believe the Mona Lisa is very moving, and you said, you don't really understand what you're saying, it's nailed to the wall, I would say that you're the one who doesn't understand what I'm saying, not the other way around. And the way that relates to this is there are many concepts of God, and I'll admit, I find a lot of what you say about that interesting. I'm familiar with it. The idea of this kind of Jungian hierarchical thing, or as a metaphor or a symbol.
Oh, this fucking guy again. It's like Jubilee has like an army of NPCs, bro. You guys notice that? Isn't this the guy that like is like a former woman that like transitioned to a guy or some shit? It's like literally fucking Jubilee has this army of fucking weirdo NPC motherfuckers that no one knows, man. And then you see, guys, the ghoul chick, man, she's like all over my fucking timeline now. Look at this shit, bro. This fucking girl. Hold on. Where's she at? This chick, bro. What the fuck?
For measles?
Yeah.
What is it? No, I don't know.
There is current.
This disgusting creature, bro. I don't know what this even is. What is this? Andrew Wilson was debating this fucking moron last week. And like, she couldn't even concede that like men have the monopoly on force. It's like, bro, we can't even fucking idiot.
Falcon punch!
I don't even know what this is.
Currently, no treat.
And she has like a 60 IQ boyfriend.
Right.
For measles.
Who's a fucking retard as well.
That is approved by the FDA. So part of it, going back to what you said about
anyway,
COVID.
Fucking unsightly. Hurts me to look at that shit.
Or the kind of, atheist, materialist, literalist idea of...
She looks like a fucking ghoul, chat.
Agentic, omnipotent, omniscient being that intervenes in reality, right? So when I'm saying that I reject the concept of God, I'm aware of these other definitions of God, but I think that when we use words, we tend to only imply one meaning at a time. So the same way that I would say the Mona Lisa is moving emotionally, but I would not say it's moving physically. I would say I reject the concept.
This guy said moving physically. I'll tell you what's not moving physically. This fat fuck. Look at his stomach hanging over. Like, bro, what is this? Look at this shit. Nigga, how dare you show up to a fucking debate looking like a fucking Pillsbury Doughman, man? What the fuck is this, bro? Man, Make me president, bro. Niggas like this will be gone. They'd be in the fucking fat camp losing weight, man. And then they would believe in God. Holy. What the fuck is going on in America, bro? Disgusting.
Concept of God in this very literal way. But
what literal way?
The way that God is this omniscient, omnipotent, agentic, supernatural being that sent his son down and has, caused miracles and all these things like that. The idea of God is
Do you think that there's an underlying unity of things?
Could you explain that question?
Well, scientists, for example, believe that science unifies in a comprehensive theory. Do you, yes, no, or that there are multiple competing truths? Those are the options. Either things unify or there are multiple competing truths.
I know that, for example, like in physics, people are looking for like a theory of everything.
And why do you think they're doing that?
It's interesting, it's helpful.
But they also believe that there's an underlying unity to things.
In a sense, yeah, like like the material world and time and space are probably governed by universal laws and principles.
Partly that, yes, yes, but that the same thing might extend to a broader domain that would include imagination and value.
Could you help me connect that to the prompt?
Well, I'm trying to define God, the God that I don't think atheists do a very good job of defining. Here's another question for you. What do you think?
This guy, Johnny John, says, my girlfriend caught me texting another girl, and the only way for us to stay together is for her to have my Instagram account and location. I gave it to her, and she keeps being annoying and nagging me for what I did. What should I do moving forward? Chat, tell this nigga what he's got to do. Chat, go ahead and tell him what he's got to do. I want to see what you guys say.
Guides you in your determination of whether or not what you're saying to me is true.
Can we go back? Can we stay on what we were talking about?
We are.
Okay.
You're just uncomfortable with the question.
No, I feel like you're just kind of throwing different spaghetti at the wall.
I'm not.
Okay.
I asked you a very specific question. What is it that you think guides you when you're talking to me to help you determine whether what you say is true?
Logic, memory, reasoning, sensory information.
How do you distinguish that from being governed by something that's false?
An interesting question.
How do you know the difference when you speak between what's true and what's false? So you could imagine.
Infer, right? I can infer. I can.
From what principles?
So, and what are you getting at?
I'm getting at the fact that your conscience guides you. Is that reasonable?
Conscience is defined by my empathy and my reason are my foundational.
Define it any way you want.
Okay, so that's how I'm defining my conscience. Is my my conscience is my sense of right and wrong. Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Where does that come from?
I would say that comes from an evolved capacity to empathize and a recognition of the benefits of engaging with and nurturing that capacity. And then that empathy is constrained and guided by reason, right? Like, for example, I am driving down the highway, there's a kitten in the road. I'm going to empathetically feel, oh my God, I want to save the kitten. But then reasonably, like I'm going to get hit by a car, right? So that's sort of the process through which I make ethical decisions.
Okay, how do you
constrained by reason?
Do you think that people can differ in their response to something empathically?
Yeah.
Is there a mediating principle that can tell you one person who's empathic and another?
So, for the young guy in here, Johnny John, I'm just going to be very blunt with you, my friend. You're a fucking idiot. For you to give your girl your Instagram account and location means you're a bitch, you're soft, and quite frankly, she's probably your only source of intimacy and or sex, which is why you did that like the thirsty little bitch that you are. So now that she knows that you're a bitch, because that's what you are for doing that, she's going to abuse you. And that's why she doesn't believe you and she's nagging you, etc., because you've basically proven to her that you're soft and you care too much. What you should have said was, no, I'm not giving you my passcode or whatever, or my location. If you don't like it, get the fuck out. That's what you should have done. She would have respected you more. But now that you're in her frame, you're cooked. And she does respect you, and that's why she's nagging you, fucking dumbass. You must be new here. What did I say at the top of the show? When women have control, it's over. You must have missed that part, Johnny John. You must have missed that part. Now your girl wears the pants in a relationship, and your dumb monkey ass sitting there like, please don't leave me. Like a fucking retard. You're cooked, bro. You're absolutely cooked at this point. Holy shit, man. Stupid ass motherfucker. You're literally a fucking retard for doing that. And I gotta embarrass your dumbass so you learn the right way. You just cucked yourself. Gave her your Instagram account and your location. What the fuck is wrong with you? Dumbass. And guess what? It's only going to get worse, FYI. As you continue to stay with her, it's only going to get worse. She's going to just be a bigger bitch, ruder to you, and she's going to cheat on you anyway, FYI. She's going to say, I'm going to get my get back. That's what she's going to think. Because women are retards in 2025, and they think that them having sex with other men is an appropriate way to combat your infidelity. Because they're stupid. They're smooth-brained. A lot of these women are stupid. So, yeah, dude, you're cooked. Good job, dumbass. Gave your Instagram account and your fucking location like a fucking pussy. And yeah, I'm being harsh on you because you're a retard. Absolute fucking retard. You must not listen to anything I say on this show. Literally at the top of the show, what the fuck did I say? When women have levers, they become terrible people? You're experiencing that right now, dumbass. Serves you right, too. Give her all your shit, you dumb fucking idiot, dude. Holy shit. How many times I gotta fucking tell you guys that women, okay, are like children? Okay? How many times do I gotta tell y'all niggas this shit? They are like fucking children. Therefore, they can't have any authority or any real power in the relationship. If they do, they're going to make your life miserable. As seen by this fucking idiot Johnny John right now. Holy shit. Why do you guys think I wrote the book, Why Women Deserve Less? Why do you guys think I wrote that book? You guys thought I wrote it just, yeah, man, let's just write a book and be an author. No, because I really mean that shit. They do deserve less. This nigga, dumbass nigga over here giving her more. Yo, let me just give you my Instagram account. Here you go. Here you go. Here's my location. Happy wife, happy life. I love you. Fucking dumbass. You like that retarded nigga letting your girl go to streamer university. It should really be called Whore University. Because a bunch of the thoughts that went there, right, are talentless whores that went to that streamer university. And these niggas are gassing them up. I see a bunch of mid-black bitches. Fucking baboon of bitches. And niggas are sipping on these hoes. Oh, this bitch bad. No, she ain't. Hair fake, nail fake, BBLs. I forget the nigga's name. The guy that looked like Future. Nigga sipping on some India bitch. And then you wonder why women don't respect most men. Bro, the reason why women don't respect most men, the reason why, let me rephrase that. The reason why most women don't respect most men is because, quite frankly, most y'all niggas don't deserve to get fucking respect. You guys are fucking simps. I don't know the bitch's name. I don't know the girl's name that they were simping on at the academy. I know she's like some light-skinned bitch. India something, I don't fucking know. And the nigga that looks like Future was, oh yeah, Duke Dennis, there you go. Duke Retard, I call him. Because he's not really a smart guy. Nigga talked about people that don't want to vote for Kamala are racist. As soon as he said that shit, I was like, yeah, this nigga retarded, bro. This nigga stupid as fuck. He probably thinks George Floyd is a saint. You know what I mean? Speaking of which, it was his anniversary yesterday. Fucking wild, or the day before. A bunch of black people taking fucking kneeling for this nigga. Matter of fact, look, I'll show you guys on my Twitter, bro. This is how dumb black people are sometimes, bro. Holy, man. Goddamn, where's my... Bruh, look at this shit, man. Look at this shit, bro. This shit, nigga. Look at this. BLM activists kneel in front of Target for the 5-year anniversary of George Floyd dying. What? What's going on? Wait, does this nigga have dunks on? Yo. Wait, hold on. This nigga got a suit on with some Jordans? Bruh. Yo, man. What in the niggatry is going on right now, bro? This nigga has some Jordans on, some Jordan 1s on a knee for George Fentanyl. Bro. Look at all the women, the black women. They fat as fuck too, man. Yo, this been bald as fuck. What the fuck is going on? What the fuck is this? Who is this bald bitch recording this shit? Nigga, I can see what she's thinking. And I'll tell you this. It's not about a gym. I'll tell you this. He ain't thinking about a gym, man. Yo! What the fuck is this milk dud bitch talking about, bro? Yo! What the fuck? See what I'm talking about, bro? The nicketry? And see, the crazy part is, right? I'm like one of the few people that calls this bullshit out, right? Niggas think, oh, well, half of them say that I'm not black. Another half says, Myron, you are black. Why do you fucking call this shit out? You a racist. No, man, this is stupid. This is stupid. I'm the only one that has the balls, right, to put my face on camera and tell you dumbass niggas, yo, everybody's laughing at us. We look stupid. We might want to rethink what we're doing here. What do they say? Oh, this nigga, he's Uncle Tom. Dumbass Lamont Hill, whatever the fuck his name is. The nigga I embarrassed on the Piers Morgan show. He over there with fucking Joe Budden, a.k.a. the dog masturbator, a.k.a. the nigga that be smacking the shit out of women but get mad at me saying that I'm a misogynist. The dude that sexually harasses employees. Remember that nigga, Joe Budden? The dude that turned his back on the guys that made him fucking famous with his shitty-ass fucking podcast? That nigga? Yeah. They want to sit there and talk shit about me. Say that I'm a racist, I'm a clown, I'm a lame, I'm an Uncle Tom, blah, blah. No! I'm telling you stupid-ass niggas the truth. What everyone says when you dumb fucking monkeys aren't in the room. And that is, black people are the fucking piñata of every other group of people because they just roast y'all niggas because you do dumb shit like this. Let's take a kneel for a fucking multiple-time convicted felon that put a fucking gun to a fucking pregnant woman's stomach that robbed her, committing crimes in multiple states, career fucking criminal, died on a drug overdose of fentanyl, was committing a fucking crime when he got stopped by the police. Yeah, let's go ahead and take a kneel for that nigga. But you stupid ass niggas will not take a fucking kneel when the national anthem is being played at a fucking football game. You niggas will sit there with dumbass Kaepernick taking a kneel for that, right? Saying, yeah, we don't respect the flag. But you niggas will over here take a kneel for a fucking convicted felon. And then you wonder why people make fun of you stupid ass niggas. I'm just telling you guys what everyone else is saying behind y'all back. I'm just telling you guys what the white people, the Asians, the Indians, the Caribbeans that you guys constantly call tethers, the Africans, whatever you want to fucking call it. I'm just telling you guys what everybody else is saying. They just don't want to say it to you guys because you guys tend to be violent. And they're scared of the reaction. They don't want to be called a fucking racist. I don't give a fuck, though. I'm not scared of y'all niggas. I tell you guys to your face that you're behaving like primates. And everybody gets all mad and says I'm a fucking racist and a white supremacist, whatever. Call me whatever the fuck you guys want to call me. You guys know what you can't fucking call me, though? I'll tell you what. You can't call me a fucking liar. And until you fucking monkeys can call me a fucking liar, my name is Frieza with y'all niggas, man. Get the fuck out of here, you pussies. That's what I gotta say. Because real talk, somebody's gotta tell y'all this shit. This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. You guys are taking a fucking kneel for George Fentanyl in front of a Target, which, by the way, you niggas destroyed all the Targets when the George Floyd fucking riots were going on. Remember that? Remember that you niggas want to take a kneel at the fucking Target? The same fucking Target that you guys were destroying when the BLM riots were going on? How every single city in America that was left-leaning tended to be fucking destroyed and looted? Small businesses gone? Department stores looted? Police stations fire? Remember that? I do. You niggas want to sit here and cry about fucking Shyla Hendricks. Oh, she made $700,000 because she said the N-word. Ah! You want to know why she made that money? Because they're fucking tired of you guys. They're tired of you niggas always running around. Not getting accountability for your fuckery. getting mad about the N-word. But then you go ahead and you destroy multiple blue cities in America because you're angry about a felon that died over a fentanyl overdose. You guys want to talk about police brutality? Police brutality. They're killing us. Really? Y'all niggas kill yourselves. The fuck out of here. For every one policeman that might shoot a black person, y'all are killing that times 10x, 1,000x. I don't want to see, you guys don't fucking protest when y'all shoot each other and kill each other. I don't see none of that. I don't see you guys going after the fucking gang members, the gang leaders. I don't see you guys going to the hood and marching over there and saying, what the fuck? Y'all need to stop killing each other. No, you guys only fucking march and protest and do all this crazy shit when a cop gets involved or a white person. The money that Shiloh Hendricks made wasn't because she dropped the N-bomb. It's because they're tired of the fuckery. What I call, systemic organized niggotry. That's what's been going on over the past, almost 20 years now. Since the Obama era, I call it. They bleeded it out when I said it on fucking Piers Morgan because they're a bunch of pussies, but that's what it is. Systemic organized niggotry, which is basically where black people behave like morons and don't want to be held accountable for it or called out for it. And anyone that calls them out for it is considered a racist or a white supremacist. Idiots like Tariq Nasheed, Dr. Umar, saying that they want reparations for work that they never did to be paid by people that never enslaved them is fucking ludicrous. Absolutely ridiculous. It's embarrassing. And then they have the nerve to say, well, you ain't a foundational black American, so you can't talk on this. You are a tether. Okay. Is that supposed to hurt my feelings that I'm not one of you? I'm embarrassed to be aligned with y'all niggas if I'm going to be honest. All right? And here's the other thing, too, that I find very interesting. They'll sit there and they'll complain about white supremacy and white power, but y'all niggas talk shit about them every single day. And you still got YouTube channels. Isn't that interesting? If there was this white supremacy and this white power that you guys talk about, and it was so prevalent and so powerful, you really think them niggas will let you sit there and talk shit about them every single day? You ever thought about that? If you could criticize them and not get canceled, that doesn't mean that they're in power. But I do find something interesting. Tariq Nasheed will never talk about Jewish power, though. Ever. He won't. Because he knows who really runs shit. And I mentioned it in the debate one time. And he had the nerve to fucking sit there and say, oh, are you going to crash out? Yeah, motherfucker, because you know what shit really is. This whole white supremacy thing, it's a fucking grift. Because if they ran shit the way that you claim that they run it, you wouldn't have a fucking YouTube channel. At all. All right? So you Wakanda Forever niggas are a bunch of cappers. A bunch of race-baiting retards. You guys want to sit there and blame everything on white people about your oppression. But who ran the transatlantic slave trade? Who are the majority of the slave owners? Who owned the ships? You always complain about the music industry not giving you your fair share. Who runs the music labels? Oh, y'all don't want to talk about that, though, do you? You don't want to talk about that, do you? Bitch ass niggas. That's what you guys are. That's why I call you Tariq Nasheed. Because you will sit there and cry about white supremacy all fucking day, call people undercover white supremacists and you're part of the Klan and all this other bullshit. But you'll never really call out who are the real ones that are oppressing you. Does that have to do with the fact that your wife is one of them? I don't know. Maybe that's why. Right? So, it is what it is, man. But this is fucking ridiculousness. This is embarrassing. This fucking George Floyd bullshit. And then people wonder why the black community gets laughed at. This is fucking crazy to me. You know, giving this much respect to a fucking criminal. Right? We always prop up the scumbags. Always. We never prop up the smart people. Right? It's always been that way. Make fun of Steve Urkel for being smart, but go ahead and praise Stefan. Remember that? Interesting, man. Interesting. Anyway, let's go ahead and read some of these chats, and then we're going to get going and do Fresh Fit here pretty soon, ninjas. Typical chocolate activities, you know it. Was just watching the debate of Andrew versus a male feminist. It was insane. Drove me up the wall. I wonder if you would react to a few minutes of it, but I don't know if you want to lose more hair. Andrew sure did, and so did I. Yeah, I might react to that tomorrow, actually. That's a good debate to react to. I might react to that tomorrow. The one on whatever. Congrats on George Floyd, 5 years of sobriety. Okay. Cheat on her again, be a man. My high school friend is mad because I kept asking why when she asked me where I was. Context matters. Bro, nigga, I think he means his girlfriend. Yo, you guys are so owned by women, it's pathetic, bro. God damn, man. You guys really will sell your souls for some pussy, bro. You guys got to stop being soft, man. Hey, shout out to Styles. Styles posted the stamps for the Diddy shit. Shout out to my guy Styles. But yeah, anyone that thinks Tariq Nasheed won that debate, like, you niggas are retarded. I showed the clip already where I just ethered him in one sentence. So, oh man, what the hell? Hold on, bear with me real quick, chat. Shout out to Styles. I don't know where. Let's get back to your boy Peterson.
Person who's empathic, that disagree, who's correct.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think that's where we'd have to, talk it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
We do that in real life all the time when we have, whether that's a discussion with a friend about the right thing to do in a situation, whether that's a policy discussion about law, right? That's where we can converse with each other, think about things, explain our perspectives, and then kind of reach a conclusion, right? That I think that we do that all the time.
So Elijah, the prophet Elijah, defined God in the Old Testament as the voice of conscience within.
Okay.
That's a definition.
So you're saying by that definition of God, I guess this kind of goes back to where I'm saying initially.
I'm not defining it. Elijah defined it.
Okay, so as Elijah defines God.
It's defined that way in Jonah too.
Okay, so as
Cardinal Newman also defined it that way.
As I'm sure you know many.
Guys, let's get to 3,000 likes, bro. 3,000 likes, ninjas. I just gave the fucking bombest monologue on the fucking morons. So like the goddamn video.
People who defined it that way. And it's impressive. You're a very knowledgeable person.
I'm not trying to be impressive. I'm just pointing out to you how God is defined in the Old Testament.
All right. So to respond to that, I do think there are lots of interesting ways to define God. And that goes back to my kind of opening
Then how
statement.
do we specify what we're arguing about?
We use context clues, or again, it goes back to my example of the Mona Lisa.
I'm defining God as conscience.
Okay. So that's interesting, but then you're kind of expanding the meaning of God.
No, I'm not. That's how it's defined in the Old Testament.
Okay, so
in Elijah and in Jonah.
Sure. So whoever. So
it's not whoever. Okay. Elijah is one of the major Old Testament prophets. Right? He's equal in stature to Moses.
Okay.
So it's not arbitrary.
All right. So that is interesting, but it's not relevant to the context with which I am using the term God.
It's directly relevant. Atheists reject God, but they don't understand what they're rejecting. You accept conscience as a guide, and conscience is one of the defining characteristics of God in the Old Testament.
I think you're being intellectually disingenuous.
In what way?
Because, again,
I asked you if you believe that conscience...
This is an interesting conversation because Jordan Peterson purposely picked out something very ambiguous to use. So let's move on to the next topic. Morality and purpose cannot be found within science. Okay, that's his second claim.
Purpose cannot be found within science.
All right, let's see here. Speak Nathan says, no, Myron, it's not my girlfriend, it's my high school friend. He got mad saying he's starting to doubt our friendship because I kept replying why when he suddenly wanted to know where I was. Bro, what the fuck? What the fuck? That's kind of weird. It's kind of weird, bro. You and your buddy got a weird relationship. I mean, why can't you tell him where you're at, bro? But then why is he asking as well? A little strange. What the fuck y'all niggas got going on?
What is up, Mr. Canada?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing great.
What's
How are
your
you?
name?
Brian. I think it's interesting that you say that morality and purpose can't be found in science. Actually,
No, within science.
sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Purpose, I actually grant you, because purpose is subjective, right? Unless you want to boil it down to the purpose of life is just to procreate, right? Sure, whatever. Morality is actually something that we do see. We actually have examples of Neanderthals, an older individual was found in a tribe, missing an arm, missing teeth, still alive somehow in his 40s, 50s, right? Typically, you're a Neanderthal, you can't eat, you can't hunt, you die, right? But we know that members of his tribe were taking care of him, right? So we know that at some level, early in our evolutionary history, we actually developed altruism. We have examples of chimpanzees who actually have a basic understanding of fairness, right? If you give a chimpanzee 2 grapes, right, and his buddy gets 3, right? He actually freaks out, right? But you give both chimps 3 grapes and they're good. We have examples of parrots.
Except for the greedy chimps.
Except for the greedy chimps.
They want 4 grapes.
They want 4 grapes. You know, those do exist, right? But we have similar examples where we do animal tests, right? And
so morality is intrinsic.
I think.
So it precedes science.
I think that actually
right?
a better way to define it would be that social animals, which we are, right, require some level of morality or
into what? I'm not disagreeing.
Sure.
Why do they require that?
Because it's the only way that social groups can actually survive, right?
That's my point with regards to science. Thank you very much.
Is that
precisely the point that you just made, that science has to exist within a moral framework that isn't in itself scientific?
How's that not scientific?
Well, because it's not derived from the scientific process, as you just indicated.
It doesn't
by
need to derive
pointing
from the
to
scientific process.
Well,
It's
hang
the
on,
fact that
hang on a second.
we are social animals, and we need that to exist as a group.
I
right?
agree, but
Sure.
you pointed to the morality of Neanderthals, to the morality of chimpanzees. They didn't derive that from science.
They don't need to. That's not how
That's
that works.
my point.
Science explains it. So
No, science doesn't explain morality.
it doesn't explain how social animals would need to be.
Well, that's
altruistic.
a complicated question.
But we see it though.
Yeah, but explaining the evolution of morality and explaining morality itself aren't the same thing.
Okay, so you're asking why does this happen?
Yes, that's more accurate.
Because we're social animals and we
yeah,
need
but there's
to be.
more to it than that.
Is there?
Sure. For example, so we're moral animals that have a sense of the future.
Sure.
Okay, that makes us unique, and that structures our morality.
No, actually, there are other animals that can predict the future, or not predict
really.
the future. No, tigers. Actually, there was a tiger at the SF Zoo that killed somebody, and so
Hunting
actually,
animals.
No. Kids threw shit at the tiger. The tiger actually plotted its escape, and it found the
I'm not
kids.
saying that animals can't think.
Okay.
No, but
let's
they can
pause
perceive
here.
the future. That's what I'm saying.
Well-
Voted out by the majority.
Thank you, man.
Good man. Yeah.
Hey, Jordan Peterson. How you doing?
How you doing, man?
My name's Luke. Nice to meet
Good
you.
to see you, Luke.
So your claim that morality and purpose can only be found in science is a little shaky because I think that your claim is really being framed to be morality and purpose can only be found in religion. Is that how you're kind of framing it?
I would say that the domain of religion is the domain of morality and purpose. Yes,
Okay.
exactly. And also that science is actually structured, at least in part technically, to eliminate such considerations from its purview a priori.
Okay.
Right? That's why we define science as value-free. But that has to be wrong because science...
All right, guys, we're going to start Fresh and Fit somewhat soon. I'm just waiting for Fresh and Bills. As you know, whenever you black people, they tend to not be punctual. So that's what's going on right now. Niggas being niggas. So, yeah.
Scientists have to prioritize their attention towards something before they can even engage in observation.
Okay.
And that act of prioritization of attention is a value-predicated act. And so I can continue. There's all sorts of things we have to assume about science before it can take place.
Okay, so what I'm specifically pointing out here is about religion in particular, since you yourself are a Christian, right?
People debate about that, and I generally don't discuss it publicly.
Okay.
Yeah, this is crazy. That he can't even give his stance religiously on anything, which is fucking weird. Yeah, guys, we're gonna cover the top 5 credit cards for cashback. Okay, so it's gonna be absolutely be a good episode for all you guys that want to get your money on point, etc. So we are going to absolutely be covering cashback credit cards. I don't know what this creature is, by the way, that he's debating. Dude, man, this soy boy fucking infiltration that we got going on in America is absolutely fucking ridiculous, man.
I understand that. And me, myself, I am a former young earth creationist fundamentalist.
Oh, yeah.
Young earth creationist fundamental. What the fuck? What the fuck does that mean? Bro, what the fuck does that even mean? Bro, we need to bring back bullying, man. What the hell is going on? Holy shit. Absolutely wild. Didn't them boys infiltrate random scriptures of the Bible so that there can be many contradictions so that the people can be more persuaded to become secular? I've grown up in the 90s and the difference between then and now is insanely more secular. It's shocking. Yeah. Let's see here. Johnny John says, thank you, Myron. I realize I fucked up. Yeah, you fucked up big time, nigga. You fucked up big time. Change your Instagram password. Turn off your location and tell her, I'm going to do what I want to do. Take it or leave it. That's what you do, Johnny John. Okay? Because this is fucking pathetic, bro. Holy, man. Y'all niggas are bitches nowadays with these women, man. God damn. Hurts my soul to see it, man. Because here's the thing, bro. You know she's going to cheat on you anyway, right? Johnny John? She's going to cheat on you anyway and rationalize it by saying that you cheated first. That's how women are nowadays. She's going to cheat on you and say, get back. Because women are dumb enough to say dumb shit like that. So, you got to put your foot down, bro.
So I have experience in this. I used to run a TikTok channel.
TikTok channel, LOL.
Directed about apologetics about the Bible, specifically in this type of facet with morality, evolution and such, and going back and forth with that. So in the Bible, it talks a lot about slavery, right?
Yes.
Yes. So in that, it teaches you how to take care of a slave. Rather than saying slavery's wrong, I think
No,
it should
says
say
that in the story of Moses.
It says slavery is incorrect. It says
Well,
it's
that's
immoral.
why Moses leads his people away from slavery.
But why does the Bible predicate and tell people exactly how to take care of a slave? Isn't
Well,
that immoral? Wouldn't you say that culturally we've evolved as a species, as he said earlier about empathy?
Yeah, I would say that the reason we evolved, so to speak, away from slavery was because the West was founded on Judeo-Christian morality and the presumption that every person was made in the image of God.
Wouldn't you
and so
say
slavery itself became immoral, and that was established by Protestant Christians in the UK, who then convinced the UK government for 200 years to go to war on
And
slavery.
wouldn't you say that this is about the cultural evolution of humans in general, rather than just Christianity?
No, I think it's the flowering of the ideas that were embedded in the biblical texts across long spans of time.
I feel like this is just humans editing based on the cultural evolution
And what do you
of
mean
morality.
by just?
Just?
Yeah, just humans.
Well, humans.
Editing.
Well, based on culture and history, right? We get better.
Well, they did do it based on culture and history, but culture and history have their foundations too. So.
Well, yeah, but we're talking about slavery. So many people bolstered it based on the Bible. Based on the Bible. They looked at it and they justified it in the United States and the Deep South. They justified slavery.
Yeah, but
based
the main
on the Bible.
thrust, the main thrust of Protestant thought in particular was stringently against slavery, and it was about the only.
So, guys, tomorrow we're going to cover the Charlie versus 400 Cambridge students and a professor. Not that he really faced 400 of them. But, yeah, I'll do that. And then I'm also going to do, I'll also cover probably Andrew Wilson versus that chick. I'll do that debate as well. Let me see how long that shit is. Bro, Brian better be cutting Andrew a fucking big ass check, bro. Yo, come on, man. This might as well be the Andrew Wilson Part 2 channel. Yeah, okay, so 3 hours of we could break this down. So we'll do both. No hate against Brian, but it's like, goddamn, bro. You know what I mean? Like, Andrew is like on there literally just cooking all the time, man. So Bro should be getting a big fucking cut, man. At bare minimum half. Like, if not more. Because, like, he's bringing a lot of the value, man.
Movement in the history of the human race that had an anti-slavery direction.
Which was driven by humans and their understanding
that's one
of
way
morality.
of looking at it. Well, it depends.
It's the same with women's suffrage. I mean, women's in the patriarchy.
What do you mean it was driven by humans? Humans drove slavery too.
Yes, exactly.
So there's no argument there. If slavery and anti-slavery were both driven by humans, what does your claim that they were driven by humans have to do with it?
Evolving morality based on the culture that within the society that they live in.
Okay, fine.
So with women's suffrage as well
happen.
is a very similar topic in the Bible. There are denominations in Christianity, such as Pentecostal movement, which do bolster women to be pastors, right? Which I think that's a great thing to do. But most like to disregard
Where do you
women.
think the idea that human beings were sufficiently equal to all vote and not be slaves came from?
Humans.
Yeah, but so did the idea of slavery.
So did the idea of God.
Fine, but what's your point? Like, you're not making an argument. You're just saying all thoughts come from humans, regardless of the thoughts.
It's not driven by a higher power. It's driven on our experiences
Define
as
higher.
humans, which is what is best for all people.
Is it driven by conscience?
It could be. Which conscience is also something that has evolved over time. And I think that's something that does evolve in morality and empathy.
Okay, I don't understand the point that you're making.
My point is that God influenced slavery. People looked at the Bible and went, this is moral because God says so. Just like women's suffrage.
There's lots
and
of...
just like homosexuality.
All human societies were slave owning. So you can't blame that on the Bible.
If humanity decides...
Thank you for the dono. I really appreciate it. I won't let Cece or my daughter down. No problem, Kumo. Yeah, Kumo, I think it's better that I just like help you directly versus putting that out there because I ain't gonna lie, bro. That GoFundMe was pathetic. It looks really bad for you. So I'd rather just help you out on the side and you know go from there. But pull yourself up from your bootstraps. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. You're a fucking man. Like, don't be a bitch. Just get it done. All right. I don't want people to nigga. If I put that shit up on screen, it would have made you look real terrible. I read through it and I looked at it. I was like, holy shit, no way. So take what I gave you. Make some moves. You can absolutely make some moves. And kill it, my friend. Stop feeling sorry for yourself and being a bitch. Because that's what you sound like right now. I'll be honest with you. You sound like a bitch. All right? We don't want no bitch-ass niggas in Castle Club. So go and become successful.
Oh, wait, address that first.
What,
all
about slavery?
Human societies were slavers. So you can't blame that on the Bible.
Well, you can say it bolstered it.
Well, not if you look at the broad sweep of history, because it was the Protestant Christians
based on
in the
their
UK.
interpretation of the Bible.
It was the Protestant Christians.
Which evolves over time.
Let's pause there. You've been voted out by the majority.
All right. Well, it was great talking with you,
nice
sir.
talking to you, too.
Yes.
Dr. Peterson?
Good to see you, man.
Pleasure.
What's your name?
Brian. So the first thing I would like to say is I would like to engage in this discussion in a symbiotic manner. I would not like to engage where there is one clear winner and one clear loser. Emotions are activated and it ultimately comes about ego. So I'm just saying I'm really trying to understand your position, and I would just like you to really try to understand my position.
Deal.
Okay, sounds good. With that, if you're saying that morality and purpose cannot come from science, is the opposite of that true, that morality and purpose can only come from God?
That's a way of defining it, yes.
Okay.
That's right, that's good. So I would say that with regard to the first claim, say, atheists don't understand what they're rejecting, because I would say by definition, God is the unity upon which moral claims are based. That's a definition, right?
Okay, if there is a God, what is the purpose of life?
Well, in the Christian tradition, the purpose of life is to engage in voluntary, upward, self-sacrifice so that the kingdom of heaven can be established on earth.
So you're trying to make it to heaven and avoid hell?
Yes, that's a good way of thinking about it.
What is the purpose of heaven? Do you understand?
Well,
so here's the deal.
At minimum, it's the opposite of endless suffering. How about that?
And so should we not try to achieve infinite suffering on planet Earth? And if we can achieve infinite suffering on planet Earth without God, avoiding it, if we can do that without God, then does that defeat your claim?
Well, yeah, except that it doesn't, you circumvented my initial definition, because I said that by definition, God was the unified source of morality. And so if we engage in a moral exercise...
And when you're talking about morality, though, when you really reverse engineer it and you get it down to its root, you're a psychologist, it really seems like it just has to deal with motivation. People are saying there is a God,
It's more specific than that.
Well, so let me ask you this. So if there is a God and there is a moral code and it doesn't come at your benefit, are you going to follow it?
It depends on how you define your benefit. If
it's going to come at your expense, would you still follow it? If God came down and said, here is my moral code and you should follow it, but even if you follow it, you are still going to end up in hell, are you going to follow it?
Well, that was the question that was put to Job and to Christ, right? Because they were required, hang on, I'm answering your question. They were required to withstand trials that would break anyone and maintain their upward orientation regardless.
And they did that with the motivation of believing that this omnipotent, all-loving God would somehow turn it into a benefit. So they still did it solely for their benefit. So yes, they did.
Give me 1 sec, guys. I'm going to chat and see if I'm going to... Yo, is everybody here? Mo? Is everybody here? Bro, what the fuck, man?
Yes, they did.
Hang on. Let's define benefit. Like, if I did something for your sister, would that be to your benefit? Like, how are you defining your benefit? Do you mean one of your whims gratified now? Or do you mean you and everyone you love and know over some reasonable span of time?
So when you're talking about whims, I think you're talking about something that's more dopamine. When you're talking about morality, you're talking about something that's more serotonin and more ultimately satisfying. So you and I agree on a lot. I mean, when it comes to talking about how men should be masculine and things of that nature, you and I are 100% in agreement. We just don't agree on the justification that God is the only thing that provides morality.
It's not a justification, it's a definition.
What's the difference then between a definition and a justification? I mean, it's ultimately psychologically the same thing.
Well, we have to define what we're talking about before we can just debate.
Okay, well,
right?
so here's my position.
I said that God, among other things.
I'm actually a non-theist. I'm not an atheist. I believe the human condition is one of uncertainty. And what that means is that I don't believe that you can conclude there is a God with certainty, and I don't believe that you can conclude that there is a God without in the same position. Now, with that, I don't care. I still wake up every day and I have motivation to be a moral person.
Define moral.
Moral, what I ought to do.
Okay, and how do you come to that conclusion?
And what I ought to do, ultimately it comes down to what not just...
All right, guys, so I'm gonna... we're gonna start this thing at like 8:30. So I'm gonna end this stream and get ready for the Fresh and Fit one. Sorry we're fucking late. You know, I'm not happy about it, but it is what it is. So I'm gonna go ahead, let's raid the Fresh and Fit chat, guys. Let's raid the Fresh and Fit chat. We're going to cover the top 5 cashback credit cards. It's going to be a good episode. What are you talking about? This is the best part. I don't give a fuck what this nigga got to say, bro. Is that the best part? All right, bro. I'll play this for a little bit longer since you niggas want to see this shit.
Benefits me, but what benefits the entire planet, what benefits the entire system. I think that your entire moral perspective comes from linear thinking. And when you look at the reality of the universe, it's actually more so holistic. So when you look at how Aristotle defined God, when he said that there had to be an unmoved moved or an uncaused cause, he was defining God from a linear perspective. And you do the same with morality, and you do the same with purpose.
How does my definition of morality, how does my definition of morality hypothetically differ from yours?
Because you're saying that there's something that exists in a vacuum, that it exists in and of itself, and nothing in the universe exists in a vacuum. Nothing exists in and of itself. It's a whole systems-based morality. It's a systems-based reality.
Is there a hierarchical
and that is
structure?
What the quantum...
Is there a hierarchical structure? Are some things more important than others?
Are some things, I think some things lead to more benefits than others.
Then, by your own definition, some things are more important than others.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
What is
pause there? You've been voted out by the majority.
Josie, start rating Fresh and Fit. I don't know what the hell you niggas wanted to see that shit so bad for. All right, rate Fresh and Fit. I'm gonna end the stream, guys. Going over to Fresh and Fit, I'll drop the link in here for you guys as well. Just go in, boom. So we're gonna do Charlie Kirk. We're gonna do Andrew Wilson tomorrow. Here it is. Top 5 cashback credit cards, niggas. Oh shit. Hold on. What the fuck? Come on over, guys. All right. Dropping a link in here. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. Going to cover top 5 cash credit cards. Cashback credit cards. This is going to be a good one for a lot of you guys. A lot of you guys want to be able to get credit cards that actually give y'all some value back. This is one of them, bro. This is going to be a value-loaded episode for you niggas. Probably going to open up the phone lines as well. Talk to you guys. Is what I'm thinking. We'll give you guys a quick little thing on what some of the best credit cards, and then we'll go ahead and do that for you guys. So, come on over, guys. Drop the link. Come on over. Spam the chat with O/. Make Mo and Bills nervous. That's always funny. Here's the link. And then I got to remember how to fucking raid. I forgot how to fucking raid, man. God damn it. I'm trying to remember how to raid a goddamn channel, chat. Be under customization. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so we already got it there. All right, sweet. All right, cool. All right, guys, I'm going to end the stream now. Love you guys. Going over to Fresh and Fit. And I'll be back tomorrow at 5 p.m. to cover Charlie Kirk debate at Oxford and the rest of the debate on with Andrew Wilson and that dumbass chick. Love you, ninjas. Peace. Oh, actually, hold on. What am I doing? I got to end it right, man. My bad. Got to end it with the right music.
Every single time, every single crime, every single lie, every lie, every single hour, every single day, every single night.
Love you, ninjas. We're going to be back tomorrow, 5 p.m. And then come on over to Fresh and Fit. We're going to go ahead and cover, for the debrief, 5 p.m. tomorrow, we're going to cover Charlie Kirk, Oxford, and the rest of the debate with Andrew Wilson. And then we're going to do top 5 cashback credit cards right now and after hours tonight. So come on over, guys.
Start being based, or you